Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Bussin with the Boys. It is episode 219. 220! Round of applause for 220, boys. Fucking outstanding. You guys riding or dying with us all the way through. We appreciate you. We appreciate coming on every single week, being durable, reliable. Speaking of that, we need to talk to you about something. You know we're truck guys through and through, and the Chevy Silverado has been a partner with unstoppable grit and determination. It's been our most valuable truck. And now the first ever all-electric Silverado joins the franchise. We got the chance to see this thing and experience. Let me tell you something, boys. It's an absolute game changer. Available 400-mile range. GM estimated on a full charge. That was tough getting through. I'm going to keep working through it. Over 10 feet of length in the bed with the multi-flex tailgate combined with the multi-flex mid-gate large 17-inch diagonal display screen. It can tow up to 10,000 pounds of max towing, 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds with wow mode. Working title. This is where Will would insert that is his 40 time. Ha ha ha. Good job, Will. Good joke. Up to an impressive 785 foot-pounds of torque. Head over to Chevy.com to learn more. You might be looking at this beautiful face right now. Beautiful, a little tough, but you might be looking at me going, hey, where's the boy? Where's the other set of teeth that we love to look at every single week? Boy's got pink eye. He got the stank in his eye. A lot of people think it's because of his daughter. Will is even saying because of his daughter. I am willing to go on this mic right now and say that it wasn't. That was 100% a self-inflicted wound by Will. The boys like to play Risk online. That's me, Corey Levin, Dennis Kelly, and Brad LeBrot, I believe his last name is. Brad is Will's friend from Bonterre, Missouri. Great guy, great individual, fun, just a good group of dudes. However, Will likes to make fart jokes. We see it on the internet all the time. Halfway through this game, which is a 4-hour game, by the way. I didn't get to sleep till late, but your boy's a grinder. He pulls the headset off his head, puts it down to his butthole, farts extremely loud, and then puts it immediately back on his head, mic in his face, laughing hysterically at what he's done. And my man, is he paying for comedy. But boys and girls, that's why we love him so much, because he's willing to sacrifice his body and his eyesight for the sake of the joke. So please, if you're sitting at home listening to us on audio or watching on YouTube, just give that man a round of applause real quick. Absolutely love that. Our guest today was John Crist. John Crist, comedian. Does a lot of sketches. I believe we had a conversation about sketches and skits and how you don't say skits, you should only say sketches. Great individual, amazing time. Sometimes when you come and do these things by yourself and you're meeting with an individual that you haven't met before, you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know how the chemistry is going to be, because let's call a spade a spade. Your boy doesn't line up with everybody. I'd like to. I wish I could. I love to be a people person, but sometimes it just doesn't align. To me personally, this 2-hour and 30-minute podcast, other than this intro that you're about to listen to, was incredible. I was engaged the whole time. I was just learning about this individual, learning about the art of comedy, learning about his religious background, his Amish background of all things. I think he tried to swindle me on a haircut he had once, saying that was the real deal, Holyfield, but I don't believe him for 1 second. Lots of laughs, lots of giggles. I think I had a couple of good ones myself, actually. And it's tough. When you have comedians on, there is this back and forth in your mind, this mental warfare you go through. You're like, they're funny professionally. Can I also be funny with them? Now, jury's still out. You guys would have to tell me in the comments on YouTube, tweet at me, hey, you sucked ass, one, you're a piece of shit, or hey, you did all right for yourself, because I'd love to hear about that. Now, I love you, each and every single one of you, even if I don't know you. I love you, and I appreciate you guys every single day coming on to this podcast, listening, watching, everything in between, because you have no idea how nice it is to be able to do more and more things each week. And one of those things you can do for us is to go to store.barstool.com. Am I correct in saying that, Jackie? Thank you, brother. You go to store.barstool.com and you get the merch. You get the Bussin' with the Boys merch. That is amazing. I love this stuff. You see me wearing one of the OG hats right here. I got the Fucking Boys, which was one of our St. Patty's Day merch. And you might be thinking, Taylor, it's May, baby. Why are you wearing shit from March? It's because, boys, I stay ready so I don't have to get fucking ready. I'm already ready for St. Patty's Day next year. It's going to be more shit, no question. But you want these little pieces in the back, these little vintage pieces, because in 2 years, the way we go through clothes nowadays, with the moths whipping around here, keep that closet closed for too long, that shit goes out of style real fast. Not out of style, but it gets all torn up. So you want them vintage pieces. So thank you for whatever reason. I don't know why I just went on that rampage of a conversation there with my own self, but the merch, we need you, gotta have it, gotta love you. Now, this is a call to arms that I need from all of you. Audio. We've been doing a big press on YouTube. A big press, and you guys have absolutely shown up. The subscribers have gone through the roof. The numbers on our YouTube have gone through the roof, and we appreciate that. And here I am, like a panhandler, just asking for more out of you. I need you to go to audio. I need you to go to your Spotify, your Downcast, your Apple, all the shit, dude. I need you to subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, because I didn't find out until last week that shit doesn't work on YouTube. I've been sitting there like a damn idiot on the YouTube over and over again, subscribing and unsubscribing, thinking I'm doing something successful with the podcast. Allegedly, I guess it doesn't work. So if you're on YouTube, go and pull up some of those apps or you're listening podcasts, go and do that a couple times for me, because I need it. I got to have it. This is my life, boys. All right. I'm an unemployed NFL player with a podcast, and I'm so grateful for you guys to be listening. My God, let's keep this fucking thing rolling. I love you guys. Let's enjoy the day. If you had a tough Monday, fuck the Monday, dude. You're on Tuesday now. Go just fuck today in a good, healthy, nice way. Just enjoy it. Get you some sun if it's out there. If it's raining outside, make the best out of it, dude. Make some banana pancakes like Jack Johnson would say. Just go have a fucking day. I hope you all let me know about what you do, because it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to respond with you and talk about all the amazing things going on in our life. But with that being said, please enjoy this episode. I have had an absolute, it's outstanding time during it, and I hope you guys do too. So please enjoy.
Andrew Santino, he like saved my whole career.
No, he didn't.
He did, Andrew Santino.
What a way to start this podcast. How'd that
really?
happen?
Yeah, well, Andrew Santino, I was like doing a bunch of shows. Like I was like, I got this weird, like, I wouldn't say it's a cult following. It's the opposite of a cult, but it's like, I used to perform at a bunch of churches because my dad was a preacher.
Yeah, which is kind of goes along with cult, but you keep going. I'm not saying church.
Nah, you're right. No.
I'm saying you get the snakes out there and stuff.
Yeah. I would like to say, do you think every church, if they kept going, it would eventually become a cult?
I don't know what the definition of a cult really is. It's kind of more of a fun thing to say, because I think a cult, I think of like
Taylor Swift show.
Yeah, Taylor Swift show.
Might be a cult.
Charles Manson, like very similar.
Do like illegal stuff.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I think it's just like buying into something, and then there's always like some sort of concoction at the end that you have to take to kill yourself.
Something greater than.
There's always a dead end.
Yeah, it doesn't end well.
Yeah, it never ends well.
It ends with a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, one of the sad ones too.
But they're like, let's say a church is like a small church. They're like, hey, we want you to come here more and give more and volunteer more and be more like.
Yeah.
That's
not a cult. The minute they say you can't leave.
When does it become? Yeah. If you say, I don't think I'm with this anymore, and then they don't. Yes. They're not friends with you.
Right.
That might be it. That might be when you cross.
That's definitely, I think, the cutoff point between religion and a cult is when they say you have to pay off whatever debt. You're not allowed to leave here anymore.
Yeah. I'm out. Yeah.
That's when it's time.
Like an HOA.
You need to reevaluate. It's like HOA.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm out. Well, so I was doing all these shows, like, because I started doing a lot of stand-up at church.
Yeah.
Is that
where you started?
Yeah.
In church?
Yeah, because my dad's a preacher.
Hey, yeah, okay. I watched your special, and it was very, around religion.
Yeah, there's
to
a lot
start
of jokes
comedy,
about it, yeah.
To start comedy in a church seems like one of the scarier places to start.
Yeah, no, it is.
You know, you go to a Zanies, or you go to a random spot, it's like, okay, like people are going to take and give whatever, because everything's kind of
no matter
okay
what.
To do.
Yeah.
In church, there's a lot of boundaries.
Well, there's a lot of boundaries, but if you like grew up like that, like if you did stand up like at a football camp, not a football camp, like a coach's clinic or something, you would have more liberty because you know all the stuff.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't even get. He's like, dude, you know when a guy's coming across in that 3-4 and you're playing a 4-2-5 and you're like,
yeah,
what?
Like what you just said didn't make sense, but I get it.
You're dying,
but
dude.
I got it.
You're like, bro, yeah. That's what it was like. Because everybody's like, if a normal comic, not a normal comic, but like, if somebody says we got to do a clean show, it limits you. You can't do this. I got to get rid of this bit. And they were like, you do a show in church. I was like, what kind?
Yeah.
Pentecostal, Baptist. Oh, dude, I got jokes for days. And then I was just going in there, and I was just. Everybody was just like they were, because my dad was a preacher, so it was like I couldn't really get fired. You know, if like
I couldn't really get fired.
No, if like the GM is like, I'm trying to think if the coach is like your dad, maybe, then you're like, I can kind of come late for workouts because like maybe in high school, not now, but like
I get what you're saying.
If your boss was the owner,
you'd
be like, well, if I don't, I'm like, who's gonna fire me? And he's not. So I was just like making all these jokes.
Horrible bosses when the guy's doing cocaine in the back. He's like, I can kind of do whatever the fuck I want.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
So I was like doing all these
grimaces
jokes
about him in the corner.
Yeah, that I was like across the line, and but my dad and the pastor at the church at the time was all like, they thought it was hilarious because they couldn't really say it. But I was like roasting people in the church about how they were singing. And everybody was like, dude, this is offensive. But they were all like, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So how did you market that? The church?
I mean, I didn't really. I just like started.
You showed up on a Sunday?
Kind of. They were like, come do like, they were like.
Last 15 minutes of the sermon?
I would do the right after the worship, after the singing and before the preaching. There's like a guy that comes up and he's like, hey, church picnic is on Saturday. The food drive is on Thursday. Right. You do all the stuff. And I was like, church picnic is on Saturday. I'm probably just going to go to meet girls or whatever. And everybody's just like, can he say that? Like everybody's looking around. Yeah, in church. Yes. That's why it's not really, it's like, it's funny to explain. It's like kind of like dirty for church.
Yeah.
It's not in regular life.
Dude, I was
at church. How to describe it.
I went to church yesterday, made a deal. I was on an airplane.
I slide that in.
Slide that in. I was on a flight back from New York.
Church.
And I had A2, not to flex, but I had A2 on a Southwest flight.
Oh, let's go.
I got
Let them know, bro. Let them know early.
To board when they already finished the A1 through 30.
Okay.
So I literally sat down. I sat in the back. Me and Will, he was aisle, I was window. And I literally said, hey, buddy, if this thing fills up, they're like, hey, it's a full flight.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have their seat taken. I was like, if this seat in the middle is empty, I got to go to church. I got to go. That's my sign. Sure enough, dude. One fucking seat left.
Really?
One seat. And I was like, I got to go.
And you went.
But when you're talking about like church and being like dirty for church, it's so funny because most of the people in church have that humor. They'll watch comedy. They do it like JP.
Everybody.
JP's a churchgoer. Yeah. He's a funny fucking guy, and he thinks a lot of things are funny.
Yeah.
Like I'll be with a guy.
Church, but in real life, bad person.
Horrible person.
I mean,
he's a bad guy. And so you just see him, and you're like, wow, this guy's really just got the world tricked. But no, you go to church and you see dudes on Saturday night, and they're out there drinking, having a good time. And then Sunday, it's like they've never done nothing wrong in their life.
You know where all the church people are at in Nashville? Soho House.
You think so?
It's not a Nashville podcast, right? You don't want every time.
No one watches from
podcast,
Nashville.
Sometimes we talk about Nashville, and everyone's like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Because it's
dude, I feel like Soho House. I feel like
Soho House is everywhere.
Bellmead Country Club.
The worst.
Yeah. Or what's Richland Country Club? That's where the churchgoers in Nashville are. I feel like Soho House is more like a artsy. Are you part of Soho House?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, you are.
Well, I'm insecure.
Why?
No, I'm insecure because I'm an artist, and they were like, hey, here's a thing for artists, but you might not be able to get in. That's how they hook you. They're like, you might not qualify. You're like, well, I need to know if I qualify now.
So you actually got in there. How much is it per year to be a part of
Too much. Too much. Just forgive your parents. It would be easier. That's all necessary.
Dude, so Santino saved. So you're at church.
Okay, so I'm doing all these church, and Santino.
And you're doing well. And are you only? And I keep cutting off, but I got to know the full background here. You're only doing it for your dad's sermons?
No. So I started.
You start branching off to other guys.
Yeah. Because the church next door was like, "Yo, we'll pay you like $300 to come over here to do our like youth camp or whatever." And comedies to start before you get a fan base is next to near impossible to make a living at.
Yeah.
So then I was like, 300. Yeah, like you would do a comedy club. You would work all weekend, 5 shows, and get paid about $600. 3 nights, and you had to pay for yourself. Buy yourself and put yourself up.
So you're not making anything.
No. So the church, First Baptist, was like, we'll pay you like $1,000 to do our like fundraiser dinner. And I was like, yeah.
No,
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. And so I started doing it, and I started putting these videos on social media and getting bigger and bigger. And doing like these, like there's nobody else, supply and demand why there's nobody else to do it.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys but there's like, it was like and so anyway, I was doing all these, and me and Santino had become friends through Comedy Works, where I came up and he would come through. And so I moved.
Where's Comedy Works?
Denver.
So
I moved to LA, and I was trying to get into the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store is like the
Mecca.
Before Joe Rogan moved to Austin, that was like if you got passed, that's like making the team. If you got passed at the Comedy Store, that was it. Yeah. You were the king. And everybody, Richard Pryor, all the greats have come through there. So I was like, go and do these huge shows on the road at churches and making like, I'm going to say what's weird to say. I was making a lot of money.
You can say it, dude. You're not flexing. You're just saying facts.
I was doing the shows at churches and making, oh, shoot. Yeah, no,
I backed myself into that. Anyway, so you're good. You're good. Yeah.
Then it was like going like wet. And like people, now I was doing like ticketed events. So people were coming to like see me because of these videos I put on the internet. And then I was like staying up at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, staying up to 1, 2, and 3 in the morning at trying to get in at the Comedy Store.
Mm-hmm.
And Santino was in there. And he brought me aside one day. He's like, hey, dude, you don't need to spend your time here. He's like, he goes, we're trying to do what you are already doing.
How'd that feel when he said that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I never went again.
Really?
I never went again.
Is it like,
because they were all trying to get past to get on a sitcom, to get a TV show, to sell tickets.
Right.
But I could already I could go to Wichita and sell 3,000 tickets. So he's like,
fucking Wichita, man.
Or whatever, not to roast Wichita.
No, that's perfect. That's like Righteous Gemstones type stuff, right?
Yeah. He goes,
where they're at?
Yeah, right. It might be.
I don't know.
He goes, we are trying to do what you're doing. And there's these, in essence, there's like, same with podcasting a lot of it. There's these people that love you. Just go to them.
Yeah.
Like if they were like, we want you to host the red carpet at the Emmys. You're like, that's not really our.
Yeah. I'd still do it. I'd bomb. I would do terrible. I would still do that.
Yeah, right. They'll take it.
Yeah, but if it was like
what would be something
the Met Gala.
Yeah,
we want you to. I don't even know what the Met Gala is. I just see once a year people wearing goofy shit. And
I'm trying to think of something that you would be like disrespectful to your base by doing. You're
I already did that with Jeffree Star. I already did that. I literally will do fucking anything, dude. Like I'll do whatever it is.
Cross that bridge.
Like people were like, when they saw the Jeffree Star thing, it was like, what is he doing interviewing this man girl? And then all of a sudden he said like the whole thing about pronouns. We're like, this guy's not too fucking bad. This guy's not bad at all, actually. You know what?
Yeah.
That's a smart bitch.
Send him over this way. I forgot about that.
Dude, what a wild deal. I saw an article today about that actually people, like this football article came out that's like still saying, like came out a week ago saying that I'm actually dating Jeffree Star still.
Yeah.
And that's a tough pill to swallow when you're married with 2 kids.
You know what? That's well, a lot of comics do that.
What?
Because they make stuff about their kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this special.
Wait. They make stuff about their kids?
So they make they roast their kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, your kid's like little, but he's like, I can't stand this kid. And you're like, this kid's going to become.
Kreischer does it all the time. He like talks about his kid. And low key being like
not smart. And like, this kid's not going to be successful.
Not smart to the point where like,
But I guess.
That word.
I mean, you can have like exaggerate that. The Jeffree Star thing, that might be a little, but everybody's
too much for you?
No, but
church
not
background, I understand.
No, not me. I'm just saying everybody, but you're white. Everybody knows it's part of the thing. Right?
Yeah, but that's like that was a really unique situation because the football community, football is a very homophobic sport, extremely homophobic.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You're probably right.
Yeah. No, I mean,
most homophobic.
I don't know why I said I guess. Like we're having yes, I know it is. I've been in the locker room. It's a homophobic sport. I
would say number 1, probably NASCAR.
Yeah,
if you're ranking them.
If you're ranking, I would, but NBA's got to be up there too. I'm just going off of my experience. You don't know, JP? What does that mean? Some NBA guys are sweet.
This is why we took his mic.
Weed is just like the kid's term for gay now.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's like, it's kind of like trendy. Yeah.
Right.
Man, imagine when the word sweet gets canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough little deal.
They're coming for you
think
first.
So?
No.
Sweet Factor will be done.
Yeah, no, the black culture came up with sweet, so.
Oh, this man's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
That means he's gay.
Exactly.
Man, that probably explains why so many people call me
cricket?
sweet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Is this the most homophobic sports?
This is an article, where they're trying to pinpoint where it's originating from.
We thought this was the original idea.
Yeah,
they're like,
I could just go. I can only go off of mine.
Yeah.
And so I legit, when that all happened, I had teammates reaching out to other teammates asking if it was true, and then only like my close teammate friends would text me and be like, "Hey, bro, what's going on here?"
Yeah. Oh, like serious? They wouldn't bring you aside?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, you have like your trouble and kind of my trouble, I guess, is like you have like a joke but also a serious business.
Mm-hmm.
Like you legitimately play. Like, that part's real.
Yeah, I actually step on the field.
Yeah, some of this other stuff is a little bit.
Yeah. It's a I guess a fugazi, right? It's
but
like
you don't know where the line is about what this part's a joke, but then like once you get off, like if you make it to the league, you have to be a dog.
Yeah.
An absolute dog and dead serious. But this side, you have to be a jokester.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because there is a line, and that's the thing I dislike the most about sports is like finding the line because people think like to be good at your job, you only have to be serious 100% of the time on that.
Yeah.
And like people like with the podcast, if people are like, "Yo, this guy needs to just focus on ball. And it's like, I'm not playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, chill, yeah.
Some guys play Call of Duty for 7 hours a day. I just do a podcast for an hour, 2 hours a day.
I think we got some free time.
Yeah. We got some free
time.
A lot of
my time. We got a lot of boys in here too.
Got a lot of boys hanging out.
They take care of it.
Got a lot of boys hanging out.
What are you supposed to do? If you like what are you allowed to do in your free time? Can you hunt? Can you?
I think you can.
Fish?
You can kind of do anything that wouldn't involve you getting hurt. So you can't like surf or like snowboard or do anything. Yeah. Really, any other
Focus
sports.
on your sport.
Yeah,
all right,
100%.
All right, yeah.
But you're talking about the lines, like with your job, like where is your line?
Well, we would try to do. We make fun of everything, and we would try to make let's say we were making a joke about Kim Kardashian, and then my agent came. I mean, this has never happened, but my agent came to me before the show. He was like, "Hey, Kim Kardashian's coming to the show."
Yeah.
And if I would remove that joke, that's the line. Like any joke I would tell about anybody, I would do it to them.
Yeah.
And
would you say, "Hey, Kim's here," and then going on Kim? That's what
probably.
You have to do.
And I was thinking about not doing this joke because she was here, but I was like, I'll go for it.
Yeah.
Like if we make a joke about Obama or Trump, I was like, if Trump was here, he would think that was funny.
Who's a celebrity that you would that would come to your show and like 5 minutes before you go on, they'd be like, "Hey, so and so's here," and you'd be like, "Fuck, I love this person." What would make you like more nervous?
I mean, I'm trying to think of like we had a good run of like Fauci jokes there.
Yeah. So if Fauci came to your show, that'd be a little nerve-wracking for you?
That would be awesome, dude.
Just get him up there and be like, "So tell us about that vaccine for real."
Yeah,
what's going on here?
Be serious. Yeah, just between us.
Yeah.
The mic's off.
But like from a celebrity standpoint, do you think there's ever, because once you're in the world, like, I mean, you're definitely in the world. Like you are a well-known comedian.
Yeah,
people know who you are. Anyone who follows comedy knows who you are.
Yeah.
And so there gets to a point, it's like, when do you stop looking at these other celebrities like celebrities and start looking at them as peers?
As your buddies.
Yeah. And my question is like, what is that upper echelon where like, hey, that's still a big time celebrity to me?
Well, we wouldn't go, I would never do anything like look up to anyone else that was also a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're in the green room and like I did a show with like Dave Chappelle one time, but I can't be like, "Bro, can we get a photo?" Like that.
Yeah.
If somebody came in the locker room that was drafted and asked for a photo, you'd be like, "Well,
that has happened."
Has it?
Yeah. But it is one of those things.
We're not going to be peers, but
it is one of those deals where you kind of like look at it and you're like, "Damn, this is kind of a wild situation." You see that shoe there?
Yeah.
Let me just get that out there. 9 years.
Skateboarding, dude. That's what
9
that is.
years. Yeah. I've had these little dusters for a while. I saw a little flake hanging out the toe. I had to get that real quick.
Your boy do a kick
you wouldn't
flip,
look,
bro. Let my boy do a kick flip.
But you look at Dave, you kind of with Dave Chappelle, you gotta kind of hope there's an opening. Like, hey, let's get a photo of everyone real quick, and then you get as close to him as possible.
Yeah, try to ease in there.
Yeah. Hey, let me get it right here, and then I just already guy kind of shimmy into the middle.
If he, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. If anybody, that's also. But the funny thing about comics is like if you saw Tom Hanks or Tom Cruise at like Kane Prime or something, you'd be like,
yeah.
If you saw any comedian, you'd go over there. What's up, bro?
Yeah, dab him up real quick.
Because a comic is like you.
Yeah.
If a comic is good, like, dude, people don't understand. Kevin Hart has not sniffed a commercial airline in 10 years.
What a dream.
More than 10 years.
Yeah.
And you think he's, by the way, like Nate Bargatze.
Yeah.
He lives here. He's he's like, dude, you have no idea how huge that guy is.
Mm-hmm.
But to the audience and to his topics are like very everyman.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about a comic.
Connection is a major key.
He's like, he's like one of you making fun of up there.
Yeah.
The corporations or the president or whoever. But the comic is one of you, very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never, I mean, yeah. I was going to say Theo, but are we allowed to say that or not?
You can say his name.
I don't want to say. I don't want to
say his name.
His mic's got cut off. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Theo is a very unique mind. And so when he started talking shit about me and Will, it gets into one of those deals where you're like, we're going to war knowing we're going to lose this war.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how are you going to get on a microphone against Theo Von and win?
Oh, yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. Yeah.
He just works at a different speed.
Yeah.
Have you ever met another man with his mind?
Never. I tell everybody, I go, dude, hey, this guy is like on another that's like unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And everybody just like let it like just enjoy it for what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's incredible.
Do you ever feel like like you're obviously a funny comedian, but do you ever feel like a level of jealousy to other comedians and the way their minds work?
Oh yeah, everybody does. I think name a comedian that I'd be jealous of. Let's see. I mean,
some of you just see the way their brain works, and you're like, damn, bro, this guy really just has it like that.
This guy, Andrew said Andrew Schultz. He's a guy. He's the guy that
he seems like he's getting on top of the world.
He's on top of the world.
Yeah.
And any other comic, by the way, I wouldn't say jealous. I would jealous of their art, not jealous of that people know them.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, more. The rising tide lifts all boats.
That's right.
If everybody else does good, it's good for everybody. If people love your podcast, they're like, let's go find more podcasts. Good for everybody.
How do you, when you make those relationships with those types of guys, is there a level of, because like you say, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking at these other comedians. Everyone's got a podcast now. Everyone does skits. Everyone does shows. Like, is there a level of sketches? Excuse me. Yeah, you do sketches. My fault.
Your little skits. Do your little skits.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
A couple of your little skits.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those little skits. They're solid, dude. They're solid. The football coach one.
Classic, dude.
It's a classic.
That's what I do. Like at the, like a family reunion when I was like in middle school, like a skit. Like go to a skit.
Yeah, but you don't do you do sketches now.
For the football one, that I bet that has made me. I mean, $3 million.
Really?
$3 million. Yeah, that bit.
Throwing out that number like that too.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to say it like that, but I'm trying to put an estimate on.
Yeah. Just as far as like getting that kind of attraction.
That was unnecessary to say.
No. It wasn't unnecessary.
Yeah, but I'm trying to the magnitude of. I mean, a kid came up to me yesterday in the airport. He's like, "Dude, are you that football coach?" I go, if they say that, I just go, "Yeah, you know, not in the game anymore." But,
not in the game anymore.
Yeah. You know, they let me go for that. Yeah.
But when you're with these comedians, do you like in the back of your mind, like, how do I do a sketch with this guy? Like, you look at Gillian Keeps, for instance, those guys. Like, how do you get in there with that?
Well, that's everybody. You want to write. I like to write what's in my head and act what's in my head, and I like to get actors to play my things.
Yeah.
So I've partnered up sometime with like Trevor Wallace, Trey Kennedy, some other local comics to be in my videos. But I think we all look at each other as like you know, Michael Jordan wanted to play against the best.
Yeah.
And he, like a worthy adversary. We don't look at him as like, oh, I hope he gets canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, no, we don't. But
that one name that floated in your mind and went out real fast. Like, I'm not going to say that name, dude.
We don't. You would hope that you don't hope that you would hope you're like you watch other people's stuff, right? Their bits, their angles, and you go like, man, that's a great joke.
Yeah,
it makes you want to go back and write and hone your stuff and make it better. Not I wish.
Ooh, boys and girls, we interrupt this episode to bring you true classic tees. Dads, they come in all shapes and sizes, but if there's one thing these guys are good at, it's great fitting t-shirt for every single body, dude. I have myself a couple of true classic tees in my house, and I will tell you, when I put that thing on, maybe I ate a little too much, a couple too many burgers at the Hugh Babies down the street, maybe a milkshake or two. I put these boys on, and I'm still feeling a little joke. Grabs the arms, and you got the and then it form fits in a healthy way. You got some hips, boys and girls. Don't worry, you're gonna be all right. This thing's gonna help you out just the way you want to be helped out. True classic shirts are ultra soft and fitting in the arms and shoulders with just enough room where you need it for the perfect fit and the perfect feel all day. I just said that, but now I'm reading it. Bundle and save on packs of your favorite style, from button downs to Henleys to polos. But it doesn't stop there. From their latest comfort jeans and chinos to no ride boxer briefs, True Classic is your one-stop shop for all your wardrobe needs. Bringing that dedication to fit and feel to everything else you need to get dressed, whether you're running your next marathon or running errands, and a runaround block is, dude, come on, Taylor. Come on, brother. Whether you're running your next marathon or running errands, and a run around the block is more your speed. Their line of active shirts, shorts, and joggers are moisture wicking and quick dry to keep you comfortable so you can keep moving. Man, are we doing okay on this ad read, boys? Are we doing okay? You guys sticking with me here? All right, they are committed to their shirts fitting right, and they have even Even have 100% risk-free guarantee and easy return so you can feel as good gifting it as they feel wearing it. Premium quality without premium price tags. That's a True Classic difference. True Classic is hooking our listeners up with an exclusive deal to help you get ahead of gifting. For a limited time only, get 25% off with the code BUS at trueclassics.com. That's 25% off with code BUS, B-U-S, plus free shipping included on purchases over $100. Boys, it's a fourth off. That's incredible. Get 25% off at True Classic with promo code BUS at trueclassictees.com/bus. Hashtag True Classic Pod. My God, right? Holy shit. That was a tough one to get through. There's only two more. Thank goodness. But True Classic Tees, seriously, they're elite. They're elite, and they're way more elite than my ad reading abilities. I think it's the eyes. I'm going to blame it on the eyes today. With that being said, please enjoy the next part of this episode before we get to another ad. When you look at somebody else's writing jokes, like, how do you not steal jokes? It's got to be one of the harder things to do, especially when you find somebody that's similar to you. Yeah. You're like, oh, I could rewire this just a little bit and move. Because that's like the golden rule, right?
Wire it a little bit. Yeah. Well, so somebody came up and told me a joke, like you should say X, Y, and Z at my like meet and greet or something. They go, oh, you should add this to that joke. And I did it the next night and it crushed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, for real? No, I didn't like it that they were like off the street and they were like, do this, and it worked. Mm-hmm. And I don't like.
This is an individual. This wasn't another comedian.
No, dude.
But you were doing like some meet and greet. Yeah. And some dude comes up to you and goes, couple of suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah. Handed you a napkin.
I got to work. And then I was like, wait, well, that might work. Yeah. And then
how long did it take you after that conversation where you're like, fuck, that might actually do something?
Did it the next show.
Well, yeah, but like that night were you like laying there in bed and just be like, oh my God, that would actually.
It was a matinee and we had a late show. So I did it the same day. Did you? It crushed. And I hated it. I hated the person.
Really?
Yeah. Dude,
did you ever reach out to him and tell him, hey, thank you?
No.
Yeah, dude, forget that guy.
No. I think
should have wrote it himself.
Yes, that's a great joke. I think there's a little bit of like, if everybody has like gender jokes now. Yeah. Everybody. But there's a certain angle. If you do one, somebody else's is better. Like let's say Jim Gaffigan has like the Hot Pocket. He has the greatest bit of all time about Hot Pockets. You're like, you shouldn't do a Hot Pocket bit. We're like, well, you can. Yeah. You're going to be embarrassed because if you have one better than his, go head to head with him.
But there's only one way to find out, and that's to do it.
Go for it. Yeah.
And the gender thing too, that just seems like, it's like SNL, dude. They just take whatever's going on in the world and they write sketches on that.
Yeah. And then they add this element of not being funny. So they're doing great. Yeah.
They got some hitters here and there.
They have actually.
They have a couple here and there that are good.
Dude, you know what I said? We talked about this on our podcast. Our podcast is the thing they do with the switching jokes for each other with Michael Che.
That is so funny.
Okay.
That is funny.
And it is. I agree. But SNL is very progressive, very... they don't make any jokes about.
I can see where you're leaning while we start this podcast. 23 minutes in, I found out where you stand.
Finally, can we get this American flag back here, please? Yeah. Why is it off?
Yeah.
We have a handshake.
Yeah. Big 45 guy, but keep going. But keep going.
Anyway, this is not like about that, but just think about it in the primaries and I'm just kidding. I don't know what the primaries are or like
I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah.
No one really started following politics till 16.
No. Who has that joke about like, we shouldn't we know too many of the people in politics.
Yeah.
Like we shouldn't in our day-to-day lives know who Mitch McConnell is. By nature of that job, you shouldn't know him.
I don't know who said that, but I know Shane.
I know. Is he have a joke about that?
Shane does a bit about how like nobody watched the primaries and then like, he's like, my opponent's gay, and everyone's like, oh, you can do that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He goes, nope. You're like, I didn't know you could.
You can just say that.
It's not true.
And just watched him just scale the ratings, dude, to like the be all end all.
He won. Well, I was gonna say about SNL is that they're can't make any jokes about any of those, and they did this little like ornate like switch with but all the jokes they're wildly racist. Wildly racist.
SNL's.
The joke swap. Yeah. Where the black guy and the white guy switch jokes.
Yes.
So I go, and these are all over TikTok. I go, so if a 10-year-old is like, like a black people like gorillas or like black man can't afford to like feed his family.
You better land this plane. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I go, all these jokes are wildly inappropriate, but you've just like kind of switched it up on us. So you can now say a 10-year-old kid didn't know any of these things.
Right.
And now he knows all of those jokes.
Yeah.
I go, how are we like it's fine. I'm a comedian. I like jokes. I'm into jokes, but don't say like, it's like a ventriloquist. It's like, I'm not racist. The puppet is.
Yeah.
Because the puppet is like, I can't, but like, and you're like, come on. You're like, he's saying it. The guy.
His mouth's not moving though.
No, so they're like,
he can't be on it.
Racist.
No.
Like,
he can't, if your mouth's not moving, there's no way he said it.
How veiled is this?
Yeah.
That you're like, oh, he's like Jeff Dunham is like Ahmed the Dead. Remember that?
Yeah.
When we were growing up,
Yeah.
it was the terrorist. And he was like saying all this stuff that was so out of pocket.
Dude, I couldn't stand him.
Remember that?
I thought that was so annoying with the puppets. I never thought that was funny.
And he was like this guy, and he was going, oh, come on, we shouldn't say that. I'm like, he just said it, dude. And everybody's like, this guy rules. It's not racist at all.
That's so funny.
That's the SNL thing to me.
Yeah.
It goes, but I'm fine with all those jokes. I think they're hilarious. Just don't grandstand as SNL. We're like, they canceled Shane, canceled Melissa Vias, and you were like, get him off the show because Shane, what did he have? He had a racist tweet.
Yeah. You want to read it out loud, Jack?
Yeah.
You want to read what he said, dude?
We love Shane, dude.
We love him. To do with armor, right? There was armor and there was a weak point. That's what we can say about that.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's what we can say about that.
Which are like, but
So
all
you
those.
never want to work for SNL.
No, dude.
No?
But no, I mean, unless like Republicans got in charge, then I would. I'm just kidding, dude. I mean, no, I don't mind. I don't mind. I think everybody has. But when you say like, I don't like, it's when a pastor is like, we need to like come out against gay marriage, and then you find out he's like in a secret like gay relationship. You're like, dude, I guess don't
hide in plain sight.
Yeah,
That's the
I
move.
guess maybe that's the yeah. Everybody's the SNL just sneaking under the radar. No one's ever been like, hey, super quick. But
by the way, what you guys should do is you should just make a right wing SNL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you and a bunch of comedians should just get together.
Yeah.
Find whatever channel was willing to take that leap of faith.
Right wing SNL.
Yeah, right wing
Matt
SNL.
TV tried to give it a run, I think.
Dude, Matt TV was so funny.
Yeah. Wait, what about I always hear that like the like Gutfeld and stuff like that is like it like beats the Tonight Show by like double.
What's Gutfeld?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Pull up Gutfeld.
Gutfeld is like Fox. It's like Fox News, like late night show. The Gutfeld. Look up the show. It's like a. He goes, "What's Gutfeld?" And that's wild because you live in Nashville.
Yeah,
look up the late night TV show. Right, that show. You ever seen that show?
Never.
Really?
Not once.
Look up the late night ratings. All the late night. He does like a panel show.
Yeah.
It's like goes up against all the late night shows.
When you were starting this comedy, were you ever like, I want to be a movie star or I want to have my own show? Like I want to be a talk show host where you would look at these ratings and be like, I could do this?
Gutfeld's number one.
Number one in what?
Late night.
Late night TV.
Yes. He beats SNL. He beats, look at the ratings right there. He beats Colbert. 2.4 million total viewers.
And what is it? Is this?
That's like higher than the Late Show with Colbert. That's higher than the Tonight Show.
And what does he do?
It's like a Chelsea Lately type show. He just sits around. It's like a panel show.
He just roast people
but it's conservative. That's what like. It's so funny that we're talking about this.
Yeah, it's wild. I never thought we'd get on a topic like this. You're saying all the words though. I'm kind of just
you're kind of like
you're the one. You're the one doing it. I'm down to have this conversation as long as I can stay in the same lane.
We're gonna clip this and use it against you. You're saying
no. Don't ventriloquist me. All of a sudden it's my mouth not moving. Be like Taylor said this.
Don't ventriloquist. Don't Jeff Dunham me.
Don't Jeff Dunham me.
Like when I
puts a turban on me, dude.
He's not saying it. The puppet is.
Yeah.
Like when I lived in LA when like that Hillary Trump election was happening, and like couldn't find a soul. You couldn't find a Trump flag. You couldn't find a Trump nothing.
Right. It was all in the basement of their house.
Yeah, but everyone. It's the same with like Adam Carolla. He has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. Like all the biggest podcasts are like. This isn't. I'm not even.
You're just speaking facts.
I'm just speaking facts.
You're just speaking facts.
Ben Shapiro, biggest one. Like all those guys. Like Matt Walsh is a big. But you can't find anybody around that's like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like Adam Carolla, he's like speaking just the most truth out, and no one listens. But the podcast is number one.
Yeah.
So you go. What's going on?
Right.
Everybody has to be like this secret. I was going to say like the Underground Railroad, but that's probably not a good analogy.
No, especially with where we've been going. We've been going in this whole podcast. Bro, you're trying to take this ship down.
Underground Railroad.
Bust with the boys, cancel. But I didn't say any of this, bro.
I said none of this, dude.
Underground Railroad. That's a tough. Yeah, but keep going, dude. Keep fucking going.
No.
I'm loving this. This is outstanding.
It's like nobody can. It's like, what to be like, I mean, not anymore because they've kind of like somehow even come back around themselves, but like 6-7 years ago, Nickelback.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not, it's a hack joke now, but like Nickelback's the worst band ever.
Yeah, everyone hated
like,
them.
You know where they play when they come to town? Nissan Stadium.
Right.
Who's going?
Have
Everybody.
We got some Nickelback fans. The Nickelback came on this podcast. I literally told them
August 13th.
when I was like 13, 14 years old, all my classmates would be like, Nickelback sucks. They're the worst. And I'd be like, hell yeah, they do. I didn't know at all. I knew like 3 of their songs. Like, hell, they were all awesome songs.
Yeah.
But you know.
Nickelback's terrible.
I'm a sheep.
Yeah, turn on your Spotify. There's the top 5 songs are like, there's a lot of Nickelback in here.
So why do you think that is? Go ahead and dive into mainstream media and why that's not real.
Why? So, yeah. Well, why is Gutfeld the biggest and no one
I'm
is
still having a hard time understanding Gutfeld. It's like right wing.
It's like the Tonight Show.
Tonight Show.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
That's fair to say?
The talk show on Fox News.
Yeah, it's on Fox News.
Late nights, like more like entertainment driven than actual.
You talk to the hardcore red folks though. They say Fox News is liberal now too.
Oh yeah, they've even turned on it. Yeah. All right, so why like we have these jokes at our show. I go, everyone is like in real life like such a good person, but inside we're all like, you know, like I say my whole show is just the group text with your buddies out loud.
I love that.
That's all my show is.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, so be like, John, do you care about children? Yes, of course. Would you like to donate $1 to help children? No.
No chance.
Would you like to your meal is $7.98. Would you like to round up to help children? Nah, I'm good.
Good on that. No way.
I get it. Secretly is bad inside.
But you find a way in your just absolutely move on from that. You find a way to be a terrible person. Next question.
Well, at the end of this, I'm going to invite people to get saved. That's the end of this.
That's how it all happens.
I'm going to convince everyone they're bad.
You'll have people in a blender talking like that, dude.
Dang, dude, this guy got us twisted.
The psychology that you have on people is crazy. But you watch your stand up, and it seems like you do I would let my kids sit down and watch it and enjoy it, and it's like funny. But it's like good PG,
we got to indoctrinate these kids early.
Yeah. But we're not talking about like, Bill Burr or Gillis or, these guys that are coming out there with the.
Well, everybody needs to be themselves.
Right.
So like if you got I grew up, I just wasn't allowed to swear in my house. My dad was a preacher. We lived in the South. We were homeschooled. So like I called my brother a butthead one time and I got my mouth washed out with soap.
Yeah, good.
I know. Yeah, you should do that for your kids.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Well, so that's just how I grew up, and that's like kind of the worldview I see the world in. So we need all the comedians to be like, you take it from that way, I'll take it from this way. Super like Andrew Dice Clay's, all those guys that came before us that are very dirty, and then like some people are. We need everybody, and everybody's like comedy is very subjective, where like. You could be like, this is hilarious. You show your wife, she's like, I don't think it's funny. You're like, how?
Right.
It's very, you can't say another comedian's not funny. It's not funny to you.
Yeah.
So that's like, football is subjective. That guy's good, that guy's not.
Right.
Everybody, there's
levels of grays in some areas.
There's stats.
But there is a black and white, he's good or he's not. And then once you get to the he's good part, it's like, how good are we talking?
Is he great? Yeah, I guess there's ticket sales and I guess followers, maybe, but I wouldn't even say that because some guys came around before. Like Zany's is like it's a very unique time of comedy because they're open every day. Right? Every day of the week, it's sold out. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you got these like niche like podcasters and like what was it? Not a good word.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
it got close to being a bad word.
Oh, niche.
Niche.
Okay. Wow.
All right, I'm done with that. Yeah. It was the puppet, dude. It was the puppet.
Yeah.
You had these niche. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's sold out.
These niche like podcasts and like comics that are like huge internet followings and like the lines wrapped around the building. I wouldn't know who they are.
Right.
But then you got these like killers on the weekend. Not the weekends. It's different now. But that you got these guys that came up in the game but don't have the social media presence and are just killers and can't fill the place.
Why do you think that is? Just because social media plays such a big role?
Mm-hmm. But they're great comics, and sometimes you get a comic in there that has a huge following, but is not good at comedy.
Yeah.
So then that hurts comedy. It goes, I went to Zany's one time, and it was this guy that he didn't know what he was doing. I mean, some guys that can fill it up will do like a Q&A.
Yeah, but is there a time and a place for that, though? Like doing crowd work and working on stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Like we had Steve Byrne on here, and he says he goes on.
Legend.
He'll just go and do 25 minutes and just
crowd
work.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah. He's one of the. If you ever seen Steve Byrne do it when it's going, nothing better.
Would you say there's guys out there that came on the scene real fast, but they're not good comics and it's bad for comedy?
Oh yeah.
What makes it bad for comedy? Just because somebody saw their show once, they're like, comedy's not for me.
Okay, so doing a live stand-up show is I've been doing stand-up for 12 years. I became popular like 5 years ago. So I had 7 years of, is that math right? I had 7 years of like going on the weekends in the bars and like honing the craft and making a good show. Mm-hmm. Sometimes guys pop off doing the skits. Yeah. And then
I had no idea that was that kind of a word. I'm so sorry for saying that.
Yeah, it's kind of like
never again. Never again.
It's like I'm not going to make another joke because I feel like I'm kind of on thin ice here on this.
No. This has been outstanding. I've really enjoyed this, especially because we've never really talked.
Yeah, we haven't.
So,
yeah.
And so we sit
once
there
or twice, but
yeah. And then he gets pink eye.
Yeah,
on his own. Tough. On his own accord, like just decided.
That's tough.
Farts into a microphone on Saturday, has pink eye on Monday. Like who would have thought?
Only we let him off the hook for that because he has a kid. Mm. Otherwise, if you're a single dude out there
with pink eye,
that's tough.
Well, you're doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's tough to justify. I think that with the kid thing, I think you can get it that way.
You have kids?
I don't have any kids.
I had 2 kids. I've never had pink eye.
Tough also for him.
Yeah, but it's also Will's not here to defend himself. I'm not.
Hey, this is what I was thinking on the way over is like there's like a lot of like celebrity pastors and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of pastors are becoming like famous now, and like they don't like if they are not preaching that Sunday morning, they won't like advertise because if that pastor's not there, nobody comes to church because they want to hear the personality. So like, does Will does he want this episode to do worse? So
good question.
Or if he's like, dude, this episode was like double in views, we're good with that. Like he doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or does he want it to be like marginally worse, but still charting?
Does do well though.
He doesn't want it to be like double.
I think regardless, this was going to do well because you're on this bus.
I'm saying out of pocket.
There's your flowers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I could sit here and pretend like Will would care, but I don't think he would, dude. He seems.
Yeah. He's doing.
We're all just trying to.
Yeah, we're trying to make
the ship in the right direction.
So like if somebody like Jimmy Fallon's like out for 2 weeks and somebody hosts the Tonight Show and they're like, dude, you kind of hope ratings are down.
Yeah, you would in that situation.
If you have any kind of ego,
if this was an individual sport, and it was like just my podcast, and then I had to get out, and Will came in, and Will was not in the podcast game or anything like that.
The ratings,
and it just crushed it.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
They were
he's this, he's that, and you're kind of like,
podcast.
and I should let him just have it, I guess.
You're like, that's tough.
Just let him do it. Yeah,
like if you're not there. Because like we used to go to a church in LA where it was like Justin Bieber's church and this the very very
dynamic. He owned the church or
he owned the church. No, he didn't. Yeah, he went to the church. It was about like the Kardashians would come there and all the time. It was very
like Cross Point, but in LA.
Like, yeah, but like it's like Cross Point, but like real celebrities go there.
Yeah,
so it's a little different.
Yeah.
That's just
that
was just an unnecessary. No need for that.
You honestly, you pulled a little bit of truth there because Nashville is like that.
Come on, yeah.
There's a lot of people out here thinking there's somebody that they're not.
Tough. It's a tough look.
It is a tough look, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta pretend like you're somebody until you become somebody.
I mean, I guess, but like the biggest people in this town are like the kindest people ever.
Yeah.
You see Brad Paisley, and who's the biggest in this town?
Right. Swift was here last night. It's probably Swift.
She doesn't live here, I don't think. Does she live here?
She does.
Maybe she does.
Yeah. There was always rumors floating around.
Houses. So she lives wherever.
She lives wherever she wants.
Yeah. She lives wherever she wants.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Probably Swift. But I've never.
Kid Rock.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Bob would be a good example.
I mean, politically, he's on the right page.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking. No. These are jokes, by the way. Dude.
Yeah. No, they're not, dude. Actually, before we got on here, dude, he took his MAGA hat off. He's like, all right, let's do this thing.
That guy makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I'm all connecting the dots now, dude. I had a big flag in his truck as he pulled up, too. Came out, made a big change.
I mean, everybody like.
Well, I want to stay on that. Who is the biggest person in Nashville, you think? I think he's in Texas. I think Garth Brooks is in Texas. Also, Alex, if you want to speak, get the microphone. Yeah. You should know. Absolutely. Garth might be it. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people you meet.
Garth Brooks at like TGI Fridays, you'd be like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
There's no like the LA celebrity is different. These people, like if you saw Brad Pitt, but they've all come through Zanies. Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, Brad Pitt, Luke Bryan, they're all like, what's up, dude?
That's awesome.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
I love that.
They're
Is there a reason why you decided to leave LA? Because of that? Does what we just talked about have anything to do with you leaving LA? That and the politics, apparently.
I thought that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Nah, well,
politics and the celebrities.
So we would get like booking requests and we started. I moved here because we started touring by bus.
Mm-hmm.
So like we had the whole
Southeast region.
Yeah,
that was
you can go. You can go do like Nashville, Louisville, Lexington, Chattanooga, Augusta, Macon, Atlanta, Birmingham, Huntsville. Like every 90 miles is like a new market.
That's right there. That was a good brand.
That's only like 3. That's like right here.
Yeah.
Like we'll do 9, 10 cities in Florida. Just Jacksonville, Panama City, Mobile's in Alabama. But we go if you go west of Kansas City, we have 6 markets total.
Mm-hmm.
You got LA, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Salt Lake,
Portland. Yeah,
we do good. We do well in Portland, Sacramento. That's it.
So it's much better to be in this area.
Yeah, just because they're like, this is a true fact. You guys can look it up. But somebody told me, Nashville, Tennessee it's a 10-hour drive to 75% of the population of America.
Really?
Of America. Because you can get all the way almost up to like New York City, but you can get all the way up to Ohio,
I feel like that would be that you'd have to get to New York City for that to make sense.
Maybe
it's New York City and LA, right? And then Chicago. Yeah. Well, you get to Chicago.
You get to Chicago. Yeah. You can get all the way to Kansas City. You can't get to Dallas, but you can get all the way down and then all the way over.
You still bussing or you fly?
Yeah.
Just out there in the bus grind. Do you have a tour bus?
Yeah, we got home this morning.
Really?
Yeah. From where do we come from? Fort Myers.
Does that grind ever get to you? Where you're like, man, I wish I did something different.
Oh, no, not. I love doing it.
Yeah.
But I say it's probably similar to football. They're like, the game's awesome, obviously. But like, when do you have to decide if you're gonna do it again? What month?
Play football again?
Yeah,
I can take as long as I want.
No, like when JJ Redick would always talk about that. He goes, it's awesome to but I got to get my bot. Like, are we gonna do this?
Oh, again? When you can go play again?
The season, like it all depends. So the season ends in June.
Whose season?
If you're in the finals, the NBA finals.
Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah.
So you said football and you said June. I was like, we're gonna have to go to school here for a second.
Okay, season ends in beginning of February.
Yeah.
If you're on let's say you're on a 1 year. If you you look at your wife, you look at your like, are we doing this again?
Yeah. It depends on injury.
March, April.
Yeah, because April 20th.
Yeah. Okay.
Is usually when OTAs start.
And and when's the first game? End of September?
Beginning September 11th-ish.
So everybody loves the games. I love performing. Obviously, it's awesome. But you go, all right. And there's a lot of country artists like in this town that are not like making like money, like money.
Right.
And they go to keep like another album, it's just, if you're not obsessed with it, you're done.
So creatively, like, what kind of toll does that take on you when you're writing new jokes? Because I'm sure you were the funniest kid at the picnic growing up. Like, you were always telling jokes and always had something. When you started, there's probably a nervous energy of just going up there,
just
that last 15 minutes of the sermon and kind of just having a good time.
Got a heater in my back pocket.
At what point did it get serious for you? And you're like, I got to really write stuff.
I mean, I think when you start producing specials.
Yeah.
So then you produce an hour special. When everyone comes to your show, like I got a special coming out this month actually, and then so hopefully the whole show is new. So if you watch the special, buy tickets. That hour has to be new,
right,
from what you just saw on video. So anytime you release something on video, it's now cut from the live show because they don't want to see. Comedy's different from music in that way. You go see music, play the hits.
Yeah, play what we've all heard that we can sing along with.
Come to a comedy show. It's like if I hear any joke I've already heard before, the element of surprise is all we have. That's why comics are big on like not letting the cell phones and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that is that like a worldwide thing with the cell phones? Where
it costs a lot of money to do that.
To put it in the
like Bill Burr did Fenway Park with it was like 2 hours before everyone was seated because everyone has to put their cell phone in they give you this magnetic pouch and they click it closed so you can still so that nobody wants but who's going to watch a grainy cell phone video from a screen in the middle of Fenway Park?
Sometimes you gotta do that. I've watched a bootleg film.
Have you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. People getting up and walking over and you're watching the middle of the film. Get the hell out of the way.
Well, the problem with comedy now is all TikTok is just crowd work. Something going bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody yelling out something out of pocket and then it's like a prepared planned bit of social commentary is what
yeah,
what a loser. Guy prepared. It's not, but you just go out there where do you live? And it's and it's is this your wife? No, it's my sister. Or whatever. Whatever that is. Yeah. But there's a lot of that. Yeah.
A lot of that.
Well, that's the easiest because people don't understand comics don't want to burn material. So you don't want to put it.
Oh, so you have to have something holstered at all times.
You don't want to post it because if you post it, they go, that's hilarious. They come to the show. They don't want to see that. So if you have a iconic bit, you're hoping that doesn't make it to the internet.
Yeah, but isn't there guys I was a big Dane Cook guy, which I feel like every time I talk to a comedian, they're like, oh, Dane Cook. No.
Dane Cook has done a lot for comedy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you're a pro Dane Cook guy.
Well, I wasn't, but then I found out he voted Republican, so I was like, I'm just kidding. No more. That's the last one.
No, it's not. Not the last one. Dude. But he'd have the Kool-Aid guy joke. And then his next special would come out and he'd be like, say something about the Kool-Aid guy and everyone would just fucking lose their mind.
Yeah. Kind of do you do if it's iconic like that. I mean, Brian Regan used to do an encore, and then he'd go yell out old bits.
Yeah,
I mean, you can kind of do it that way if you have transcendent ones. But you don't really want to. I mean, if you're doing a bit too long and people start you can tell a joke has diminishing returns.
Yeah,
if you're obviously a lot of things are timely. So if you're talking about any COVID jokes now, or bro.
What are we doing?
What are you doing?
Let's move on.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
If it's a lot of them are done in a way that it's about the side effects 2 years later, or but you're talking about saw this guy driving his car and he was wearing a mask. What's that? Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But that bit crushed.
That horse is dead.
But that horse was running so hard.
Yeah.
For you, so you're I'm gonna keep betting on this horse.
Yeah, keep going until the wheels just absolutely fall off.
That's probably a lot. Athletes are probably similar. Dude, this was the move.
I don't know.
Just worked for me for so long, and you're dude, you gotta,
There's for my position, it'd be like being a pitcher. You got to sit there. You have your fastball of how you handle a pass pitch, and then you kind of play the game. But I got 3-4 moves. I just keep them consistent. Keep a Rolodex.
And they know.
Going in that type of thing.
John Smoltz, I'm a big Braves fan, and he came out of the bullpen. He's I'm gonna start. That's a different energy for pitching 6.5, 7 innings to I'm gonna just come throw some heat out of the bullpen and close this game.
Start ripping them.
Yeah. Or Kobe switched his game up when he got older. A lot of people have adjusted their game.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Father Time catches up with all of us.
Well, so Dane Cook. So you go when he was. Me and Nate Bargatze had this conversation.
Is it so hot in here right now? My God.
I just rocked his hoodie.
I know. I was looking at you. I can't imagine what he's going through right now. But Dane Cook, I could.
Is that my part of it?
We can. You want me to open it up for you?
I don't know. Is it hot?
All the windows are.
That's right. That's right.
Paint?
But that's not part of this podcast. What a horrible time to interrupt you.
Oh, no, I'm good with it.
It's just lead paint. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
That's Jack's joke. That was Jack's joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. So
Dane Cook.
If he goes, hey, dude, I was when he was doing arenas, you're making all these jokes about drinking, or I don't know what he's talking about, drinking or hooking up with girls in college and all these stuff. But you got to understand, well, those people now have mortgages and kids in school, and they are, so you have to go with them.
Right.
And you guys, for the pod, you're different. The stuff you were talking about at the beginning, now you have kids and families, and it's because your fan base is developing too.
Yeah, they're changing.
So you should change with them.
Yeah.
So it's not if you're doing that, it's just friggin' The Boys and we're at Whiskey Row. We're dude, you got a family, bro.
Yeah.
That you should also
We should
develop.
probably think about being a little more growing up then, boys. So we gotta, we should stop
they're
doing.
good.
We should
They're
stop
good.
doing what he just said.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, let's get some strippers in here. All right. Well, we gotta. Yeah. At some point, we gotta stop
Yeah,
this.
Dane Cook got on stage right now, and he was sitting there at 49, 50, however old he is.
Be like, dude.
And he started talking about bitches.
Yeah.
Like, Dane, like, what are we doing?
Like, dude.
Dane. Someone pulls him over the side, like whispers in his ear.
Yeah. He's like, hey, dude.
But that's got to be tough, dude. If you,
Because the thing that always worked for you is now
it's outdated.
And
the
you go,
horse is
what?
dead.
Yeah, but that's everybody, I guess. Like a lot of and I'm probably one of the biggest fans, like Brad Paisley. He's like,
you brought him up a lot.
Have I?
Yeah.
I love Brad Paisley. Yeah. Have I already? Oh yeah, once. Okay. He sings this song like alcohol. It's like really like jingly, like country.
Absolutely.
And when country was like not, you were like, this is incredible. Like, what's that song? I'm still a guy.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna miss her.
I'm gonna miss. Is that Brad Paisley?
That's Brad Paisley.
Like those,
Yeah.
like,
About fishing, right? And the girl's gonna leave him.
And now you look at like what Morgan is doing and what Ernest and Hardy and Jelly Roll, and it's like country. The genre has changed. So guys are talking about like real things and like you feel like you know them and addiction and struggles with, and you're like, dude, this is like, I feel like I'm at church right now. And it's like, oh, what happened? You're like, because the whole thing changed. Comedy's the same.
Yeah.
It's like bang, 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 bang in like the 90s. Like, well, that isn't
right.
That's not, we don't.
You listen to old comedy, you're like, this isn't as funny as I.
Yeah, like what's the guy that had like an arrow through his
I don't care, Top?
Steve Harvey. No, Steve Martin. Steve Harvey. That'd be a wild bit.
That would be wild.
Steve Martin, and he was like doing arenas.
Yeah.
He was doing stadiums with these like hokey like bit, and you're like, well, that's what comedy was.
Yeah.
And so the whole all art is always developing.
When it comes to comedy, like, are you trying to always look towards the future and see like how things are going to change? You kind of just stay with what you know and you see, because you do a lot of observations.
Oh yeah,
like, you see stuff. You're like, this is funny, and this is why it's funny from day to day life.
You talk about like, you're like a joke about like the guy Derek Stroop is the guy that comes on the road with me, and he's been doing this joke for the last 2 weeks about Bud Light. It's just been murdering.
Yeah,
but that's gonna be
in like 3 months. It's gonna be over.
I would say easier than that.
Yeah,
I would say maybe a month.
Right.
So you go, but you have to talk about what everyone else also is on their subconscious.
Yeah.
So if you mention something that everybody doesn't know about, like if you go, dude, a lot of comics get in trouble a lot with TV shows. Like if you're a Game of Thrones guy, you think everybody is a Game of Thrones person because you're in it. And then you're like, dude, freaking, I don't know the show, Khaleesi went, and everybody goes, what?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, shoot. And that's what a lot of the LA comics, they live in LA, or the Austin comics, and they're like, dude, this is killing. And then they go on the road to Wichita.
Yeah.
And
they don't have cable in Wichita.
They go, we don't know what this is.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have no
HBO in Wichita?
No
chance.
They don't even have the internet, bro.
Yeah. Barely.
Yeah.
They barely got it out there.
Yeah.
But having like I feel like religion, I mean, your whole stand up in Birmingham, like that, you can sit on that for a while.
Easy. Yeah. Well, that's a lot. I mean,
that's been written. That's been around for a while, right?
The religion has been around for a while.
Religion's been around for a minute.
It's been around. But
that's not outdated yet.
Let's see. Now, everybody knows let's say of like Christianity. Everybody in here. Does everybody know who David and Goliath is?
Yes.
Obviously. Does everybody know what Noah's Ark is?
Yes.
Yes. And these are religious or not, I have no idea, but we just know it because I don't know how.
Yeah.
How do you know about that?
You just grow up and people tell you.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody at some point's been to church, right?
At some point. And what else do you know about it? They meet on Sunday. You got to pay. They got to pay money.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Depends. There's a I don't talk about anything that's too, like I have this joke about, this is like the most in-depth Bible joke, and you guys will probably all get it. I go, everybody's naming their kids after Bible character. Like my name's John, named after John the Baptist. Me. And I go, this guy baptized Christ. Like I used a coupon at Wendy's yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Right.
And I go, my nephew's named Ezekiel. And Ezekiel was a warrior. Like my nephew Ezekiel, extreme peanut allergy. Like, So if you don't know who that character is, you get the joke.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, he's like the.
But there's a level of an explanation too.
I mean, but
if you said Ezekiel to me, I'd be like, yeah, it's a dope
You have
name.
no idea. Yeah. But like if you go to like a, I'm trying to think, if you went to like a, like earthquake, you know what earthquake is? Right on.
Like the natural disaster?
No. Okay. Earthquake is a good, that's the same thing. Same thing as Gutfeld. This guy knows nothing, dude.
Yeah, dude, this is, I don't even know why I'm here right now.
Look up Earthquake.
You should have just done the show by yourself.
Comedian Earthquake. He's a comedian. He's one of the greatest of all times. But Earthquake is a urban comic. Only black audiences.
Right.
Like
and it's good for you the way your podcast has been going to flake in a black guy here.
Yeah, I try to ease it in.
Yeah, good for you
he's my favorite comedian, really.
You're out here just sprinkling that
African American,
like salt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get it. Yeah, so
but urban comic.
Yes, so if he'll sell out a show everywhere, and this is like I would say Dave Chappelle or like Kevin Hart is like for everybody, right? They're not for. So you got gay comics, you got Jewish comics, you got Muslim comics. That's an urban comic. You got there's comics that are like they're in their 60s and they're just for. If you went to his show, there would be things like my show that you were like, I kind of get it, but if you were in that culture, like if you were the core demographic, you'd be like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Right. And that kind of goes back to what you were saying about how like it's not for like.
Or he would be like, yo, you know, I'm not going to, I was going to.
himself out. Yeah. That's good. First catch of the day.
Goes, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
See, we're learning, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He goes, hey, like he would do, and you go, I don't really know exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the black community loves this, like the little Einsteins. You know what that is?
No.
You know what that is?
You got to start saying shit that I know.
No,
I'm
little
dumber and dumber as this podcast
You know what that song is? Yeah. Okay, what is it? Who's
Whoa, dude.
Hey,
Mitch.
Okay, Little Einstein. I went to this like it was like it was called I went to like it was in my neighborhood when it was called the Universe Soul Circus, SOUL.
Yeah.
It's like the black circus. That's okay to say.
I mean, yeah, if it was
It's called the Universe Soul Circus.
Brother, you're saying the words.
Okay, yeah. And that's what it's like and they came out to Little Einsteins and the
song.
Yes. And the whole everybody in there, I was the only white guy in there. Everybody was going nuts.
Yeah.
Like that was their theme song. And I was like, I wasn't a part of this.
Right.
I wasn't a part of this. I don't know what the song was. And everybody's like, right? So everybody has their, like all the songs that I sang at the top of my special.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like in it, you're like, I can't believe he knows us.
Yeah.
And that's all great comedy.
Get in the audience to
of your people. Now, if you
your people,
everybody has their own. Yeah.
Just turn into a pot of I nitpick every little thing you say.
I keep it a track.
On that.
Yeah, we'll be
on that.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I already been canceled, dude.
Dude, black culture is really the best culture when it comes because the laughs are harder.
Yeah.
It's more theatrical.
Like
it's more fun.
You ever had a black guy like in the airport like compliment your shoes?
No, you see what I wear.
Oh, yeah.
No black guy come in. I've had dudes crush me for these.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wear those because one, I've had them for so long, but also I think it's funny.
You know, all your teammates are black.
Most of them, yeah.
They think you're cool.
It's a hit and miss situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes
depends.
You know, the best compliment you can get from a guy is just be, hey man, Lawan, like you're pretty cool for a white guy.
Last name.
You hit the Lawan with it, and you're like, you're pretty cool for a white guy.
Cool with us.
Oh, I fucking made it.
Yeah, you made it. Yeah,
made it, dude.
Yeah, the black comedy I did. You know Bill Bellamy.
Yes.
Remember that? Like Bill Bellamy was like what? Yeah,
Bill Bellamy.
Yeah.
I played with a Russell Bellamy one time.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe
I don't think they're related.
Well, you can't say that. I don't think because they're. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I was like coming up in comedy. He was coming to my local comedy club, and I don't know what I was like very young, hungry. Like I was like, I want to go. I was like, hey, can I do like a guest set in front of you, which is pretty common. And he goes, yeah, you can do 5 minutes on my show. And it's all black. Okay, so I'm like, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought it would be funny if I dressed like in like khakis and like a button up. Like I thought
New Balance shoes, like that real white dad vibe.
Yeah, to try to be more. And I was like, I was kind of gonna And I was really, really nervous. There's 300 people sold out, and everybody's there for Bill Bellamy. And they go, our next comic is local comic John Crist. And I walk up there, and I was like, yeah, this isn't really my demographic either. And they started dying. And then I go, I'm only going to be up here. I'll be doing like 5 minutes because I got to get back to being a waiter at the Toby Keith bar. Yeah. It was across the street, and they were dying. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and I did my whole set, and it was great. Everybody liked it. Mm. And then I got confident. Uh-oh. And I know. Yeah. And then the next show, they were like, we loved it. Like, come do the 9:30 show. Yeah. And I literally walked out like, ha. And they were like, no.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, dude. Get this guy out of here.
Confidence is a killer.
Immediately, dude. Immediately. I was like, dude, I'm shit. Like, black people love me. They're like, no, we don't.
Yeah, like, get the fuck out of here. Yes, that first group's like, that guy's pretty funny. I was like, fuck that guy, dude. Get him out of here.
I was like, immediately like, what's up? And they were like, bye, dude.
Damn. But I can't imagine there's a lot of black guys at your show.
Depends. No, you know, they gotta. Yeah, no, there's
Wichita, Wichita, Birmingham. Yeah,
depends on the market.
Yeah,
but they do. It is a black crowd will take you to higher heights than a white crowd ever could.
Elaborate on that.
Ever could. Like if a black crowd loves you, they're standing up, they running out of the room, like just way more energy, and that everybody will say that.
This is all facts.
This is all facts.
They're all facts.
Yeah,
like I would watch like Cat Williams, and he would tell jokes, and people would be like falling in the aisles and shit like that.
That's the Cat. And
you see that energy, even if you're watching it on old like YouTube.
It comes through. You're like, this is,
and you don't even know what the joke is.
My favorite comedian is Cat Williams.
Is it?
That's why I started comedy. The Pimp Chronicles. I saw it when I was in Arizona. At a house party.
Greatest state in the union.
Somebody was watching, and I go, what is this? And my dad was a preacher, and I was like, this man is captivating this audience like I've never seen before in my entire life. And I go, I want to do that.
Have you ever felt a situation like that before?
Yeah.
Where you've like, man, I really just fucking took these people to town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's got to be the best feeling in the world, making people laugh.
Nothing better, man. God. Yeah, it is the live show. I mean, you spend 22 hours in a Hampton Inn in Louisville. You're like, this is brutal, but that you know what I'm saying? Like, but that we wouldn't be out here if it wasn't for the live show. Is just so intoxicating.
I can't imagine.
It's unbelievable.
We do like a small live show. We did a little spring tour.
Yeah.
And even if you get like a giggle, man,
that feels good.
Dude. Go.
Well, I started like Jerry Seinfeld has told this story about how
what's your vibe on Jerry Seinfeld?
I like Jerry Seinfeld.
You do?
Mm-hmm. I like
because I've only heard negative things.
Oh, about him as a person? I never met him. I never met him. I love the show.
Really?
I love the show. And I think what he's done for comedy it's helped a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Paved a lot of roads for a lot of people to come behind him. And he's the guy that's meticulous about writing and working.
When you say, go and finish your thought about Jerry, and I'll try to remember this question. But you were saying Jerry.
Well, he said when he was on he's told the story famously, he was on his stoop in his backyard with him and his buddy when he was like 6, and they were eating milk and cookies. This is his story, not mine. They were eating milk and cookies, and Jerry said something so funny that the kid spit his milk and cookies out and he's like, I want to do this the rest of my life.
Really?
It was and it wasn't like now the shows are 4,000 and 5,000 and 6,000 people, but when it was during COVID and there was like 60, it was just as. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's
just you get people to laugh.
Making them laugh is like it's still like you live for it. It's the same. Yeah, you'd hope there's more people and you're making more money, but that just makes it more complicated. This is like.
What about it makes it more complicated? There's just more things that go through.
Well, yeah, there's agents and managers, and there's a lot of stress about like ticket sales, and like there's a lot of people to pay, a lot of people to pay, and a lot of people that are
It's tough looking at a top number and then seeing after everything happens.
Yeah.
Look at that bottom number. You're like, oh my God.
You're like, oh, we're killing it. You're like, oh yeah. Now we're doing. Yeah. There's a lot of. You just started because the Jerry Seinfeld type feeling. You just wanted to make your buddy laugh, and then it turned into your agent was like, well, you should. I mean, we had a meeting about like taxes or something. I'm like, this is not why.
Yeah. This is not why.
A lot of comics burn it all down, and they can't. A lot of people have podcasts, but you have to have this back end knowledge of advertisers, and you got to pay these people, and you got HR, and you got to figure the other side out. A creative has to kind of figure the other side out manageably enough.
Or place people that know it.
Yeah.
But it's just more overhead.
It's just tough. Yeah, it's hard. It's impossible to be an artist because now you have to do the other stuff. Yeah.
But if you become more well-rounded, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Way easier. Yeah.
And you don't have to stress about what you don't know.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah. But at the beginning, you did everything. You bought the mics, I'm sure, at the beginning.
Will bought the mics. I bought the bus. I bought the bus. I bought the bus and paid for like all this little soundproofing thing that hardly works. We always get complaints about our audio. People are like, hey.
But now you got somebody else to do
boys in the back. I got.
You know what I never noticed
back there right now.
I never noticed. I didn't know the thing about the teeth until I see you up close.
Yeah?
They're nice.
What do you think?
They're nice. It's nice. I noticed that outside when I saw you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. It's like a fully loaded Buick.
Don't let them give you heat about that.
No.
It's a nice set of teeth.
Listen, I look at the mirror every morning, smile, turn off the lights, and I can still see my teeth. It's a great feeling.
Got to. Well, the teeth, that'll be the one. If you want to go 10 years younger as a guy, I'd go teeth first.
If I'm going to go 10 years younger, depending on the issue, go hair.
Hair, yeah.
If you start to bald or anything like that,
hair
that's
first.
The first thing you fix.
Yeah.
But then teeth next.
But now it's not really a
Botox
thing.
third.
You know, like
jawline. You go fix a jawline?
You got a little bit of a.
Nah, dude, I can't do that. I'll do a little something like I've done Botox before and stuff. My wife.
You go with the tan.
Yeah. You get a little tan and.
Oh yeah, you get a little top.
But doing a little, that ain't it. That ain't it for me. I'd rather just look like a thumb the rest of my life than have to do something like that.
Well, like people are very like Portnoy just says like, dude, I did my hair.
Yeah.
Like that's like the way to do it. Like
100%.
Just like
the less skeletons in the closet.
23.
Right.
Like people do stuff.
You seen Brian Urlacher?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
He went from being the shiniest head, looked like Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
And now he's just got tiny little guys up there.
Good for him. Good for him.
You just gotta get it done.
Who's gonna be like, wow, like nobody.
Yeah.
And if you come out in front of it.
Right. It's all about 8-miling yourself. Like if you insult yourself enough,
8-mile yourself.
People will just kind of leave you alone. You can keep that if you want. You should use that.
Oh yeah, 8-mile yourself. You're like, I do.
But if you do use it, I
do live in a trailer with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing else to say.
He's got nice teeth. That's what you got to say.
Yeah. You have really nice straight teeth. Thanks,
I
paid for that.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Worked really hard to get these teeth. Thank you. You were talking about
sneak out of like the paparazzi sees you coming out of the hair clinic and you're trying to
hide it.
Yeah, then they're kind of.
You were one of those guys in the airplane from Turkey with that half cul-de-sac. Have you seen those videos?
No.
There's videos. Apparently, guys will just go to Turkey.
Yeah.
And they'll have like bandages over their head, and they'll have like just one cul-de-sac because it's like way cheaper there and way more effective.
Oh, really?
Pull that up, Jackie.
Oh, Turkey. Oh yeah.
Yeah, those aren't hats they're wearing.
Oh really?
That's a bald guy, just doing his thing. Got to get in front of it, brother.
Yeah, you got to get in front of it.
What's too much? What's too much to where you're like, there's really nothing you can do?
Well, I mean, in terms of appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, so
giving you another opportunity here.
I think.
What's too much to you?
Leaving the door open.
Yeah.
I think you can do anything with your hair. You can do anything with your teeth. I mean, but you don't want to go like there's always the like if you see something, are they doing it like ironically or seriously? Like if you go down to outside of Huntsville, Alabama, when we got a lot of fans down there, the guy comes with a mullet, or he goes, oh, that's a sincere mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's like Theo or Morgan or like that or like Ernest, like that's an ironic mullet.
Yeah,
like Crocs.
They're playing into it.
Yeah, Crocs. You're like, oh, are you like seriously?
Yeah
wearing Crocs, or are you wearing Crocs because like LOL, these are nerdy.
Yeah.
I'm doing it ironically.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what side are they on?
Right.
Yeah. So I think, but
hair's okay.
Hair's okay.
All right.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Saved it, boys.
Close call.
Saved it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see this little Mississippi waterfall I've going to the back of my head.
I see it. Right. Yeah, he conveniently takes his hat off.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about mullets. I wanted to make sure you knew who you were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I knew it.
I didn't want you to put your foot in your mouth.
What, are you doing that ironically?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's like I got a mullet.
It's tough for me to like, I town, but also I kind of. It was like I was at an online trip with the boys in Vegas and I won.
O-line trip.
And Will was getting and I go up there and I was a couple drinks in. I was like, oh.
You know, high and
so
tight.
I'm keeping it all 2023.
Yeah.
At least. Got to.
Yeah, but here's what you can't do, okay? If you wear like a cargo shorts or something, like you can't be like, right?
Yeah.
You just got to rock it.
Because that's you now.
You got to commit
It's the
to
whole
it.
ensemble.
You can't be like, if you go out and no one notices the thing and makes it doesn't, you got to commit.
Right.
You were like, oh, like it's like a costume mullet.
Yeah.
Like, look at me.
And
No, you can't do that.
It's never funny too when you point out what you're doing.
You just give it like,
it has
what?
to be seen.
Yeah, I had a bowl cut.
Yeah.
I had a strong bowl. You
Ironically,
look that up. I had a John Crist bowl cut. No, it was my family's like Amish.
Do you spend a lot? No, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Your family's Amish?
There it is right there. Look at that. That's me. Last year.
That's not you.
Yes, it is, dude.
No,
that's
it's not.
me. Look at that. What that John Crist Facebook video there. Go back one. Yeah. That one right there on the left. It's a video. Down one. That one too. Yeah, that right one. That's a video. That's me.
That's not. You're not doing that on accident.
That's serious.
That's on purpose.
That's serious. Look at that, dude.
That is not you.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
It's a legendary cut, bro.
You look like the girl from The Incredibles.
What the
fuck is that?
That's what everybody said,
dude.
That's what everybody said. But I had
funny.
during like the end of quarantine because I was like, well, let me just cut one like that because my hair would go like that. That's an Amish. My extended family is Amish.
I don't believe you.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of appropriation, I guess, but it's my people.
But if it's your extended family, that's not appropriation.
I'm allowed to. Yeah.
You're part Amish.
We go down there for all holidays and stuff. We spend it with the Amish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Turn the electronics off?
Yeah.
Build a house?
Yeah. Build a house. Raise a barn.
Raise a barn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you really spent time with the? Are you being 100% serious? Because I can definitely fall into this trap.
No. All right. So my great grandparents were acting living Amish.
Yeah.
That's like
talking about horse buggies, the whole thing.
No car.
Suspenders.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Like
churning
farming, churning butter, all that. Okay. So my parents were what's called Mennonite.
Mm-hmm.
So Mennonite is like they have electricity, but we're very like pacifist, don't believe in war, don't believe in like modern medicine, like kind of like everything's very like healthcare, and we don't believe in that.
Yeah.
And then my parents met at Mennonite College, and then they kind of not abandoned
Mennonite College?
Yeah.
You could just go there and get sick? What happens?
Well done. That's a good joke.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. Yeah. So you guys,
Yeah, so they met there, and they then my dad started like a non-denominational church.
Okay.
So they broke away, but our family, our origin.
They went to Mennonite church or school. Like this really isn't for us.
And so the Mennonite, leave it, they're not coming back.
Oh.
And that, some people would say we're border on
cult.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went too.
Yeah. So if you're Mennonite or if you're Amish at 18, you go on what's called Rumspringa. You know what that is?
I think Rumspringa, yes, I do. And let me try to explain it because I have to salvage whatever I've done on the show.
Yeah.
It's when you like go and like do regular people stuff for a while and then you come back, right?
Yep.
Is that fair to say? I don't want to sound insensitive, but that is
my people very offensive.
Yeah.
But no, you're right.
But they're not going to watch. Offensive. They're not going to see it. So it's kind of all good. You know?
So yeah.
Kind of like the most fair people to make fun of.
They like they go do it like heathen, sinful. Don't say regular people. Make them sound like the worst.
Yeah.
And make the Amish people sound good.
Okay, so they go and do demonic shit, and then they come back. Okay, got it, dude. A couple of satanic rituals. They rip back. That wasn't it.
Yeah, more like get an iPhone and like get on Tinder. But
yeah.
So when you're
anything goes during what's it called?
Rumspringa.
Rumspringa.
Yeah, look at the definition of that.
Can you look that up?
RUM Springa. I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Sound that out, Jack.
With an A on the end.
There's an A at the end.
All right. You missed that joke, but all right.
No, I didn't miss it. It got there a little late, but I figured that out.
Rumspringa. Yeah. Dude, no one's going to get that joke, but that's unbelievable. There it is. Rite of passage during adolescence. Yeah. Hey, take that down, dude. Take that down. Amish teens smoking a cigarette.
Getting crazy.
So basically,
there's a show called Letterkenny, and they do a whole episode on.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. So basically, traditional activities like volleyball, swimming, ice skating. Oh yeah, get loose.
Get loose. Ice skating.
So
picnics and hiking.
Yo, what's up, dude?
That's awesome.
Parties, let's go.
So these kids go. How long do they go?
Yeah, so
how long do they
go,
leave on Rumspringa?
All right. Well, I shouldn't speak on behalf of the community, but the Amish, they're once the internet kind of came around, like you could like they had it going for them when there was no like you couldn't see what like other cities were like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of like,
and then Facebook honestly, hit, MySpace hit, and
honestly,
I was like, oh,
to be fair, a lot of religion, like once the internet, and you go like, wait, what are they doing over there?
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, and there's a lot of like, if you watch those like LDS documentaries, they were like, they have to like control the kind of information because then that's how you kind of get loose. So there's a lot of, we do shows and like Amish people come. You go, how do they figure out about me? So they left at 18, you're kind of free to go. And then you traditionally, you get a year or two.
Oh, wow. You get a long time.
But now there's like Amish people that are like 35 and they just haven't like decided yet.
They haven't returned.
But no, they haven't left because you have to either decide at the end of it. So they're getting loose with the rules.
It sounds really loose because you said in the beginning of this, you're like Amish. When you leave, you're out. Cult.
That's
your words, not mine. Okay.
Yeah. But if you, so they're like, we're going to lose everybody.
Right.
If we don't loosen up and a lot of religion is like that too now. Like LDS are like, all right, we got to loosen up on some of these rules.
Yeah.
Or else.
Right.
It's not
just a new guideline to get into heaven.
Yeah. They switch it. God.
New book comes out like, hey,
real
listen,
boys. I had a joke about that in my show. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's like, you're like, how does this Amish guy have a cell phone and like is driving like a Chevy Tahoe? You're like, well, he hasn't made his decision yet to join. Because once you join the church, then you're in control of the bishop. The bishop can say you can do this or can't do this. So, but if they say, hey, you have 1 year, and after a year you have to decide, they're gonna go. Everybody's gonna go.
Yeah, if you're 18 years old and you leave it for a year, do they have like get it at an allowance? Or are you saving up shekels? What are we doing?
Okay, is
that too much?
How can I not say stuff and he's allowed to say that?
But no, they're not gonna see it. We wanted to. What are you talking about?
Shekels.
This is where I feel safest.
The Bible.
I actually feel the safest I have this entire podcast of all the things you said. You guys should have heard some of the stuff we had to cut out.
Yeah.
We'll release that. We'll release that as a bonus podcast. We've been here for 4 hours.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. No, they don't save up shekels. They like corn and vegetables and stuff.
And then they go and sell it?
No.
They just chop off
town to town? Yeah. Well, you go to like, we sell a lot of shows in like we did Shipshewana, Indiana. It's like look up Shipshewana, Indiana. This guy's looking up a lot of stuff.
You got Jack working today.
Yeah. Shipshewana, Indiana, we sold like 4,000 tickets there.
Yeah.
That's the town.
There's only 4,000 people.
Yeah.
More horses than people.
People drove in. Yeah. People, because they were like, see, there's all the Amish people right there.
Yeah. They do have some cool fits.
Yeah, they got styled. They styled up.
The facial hair throws me off the most.
And you know what? They cannot, you can take a photo of them, but they can't acknowledge, you can't ask them to be in it because they don't acknowledge technology. But you can take a photo of them.
I don't know why my mind went to Hasbulla with that.
Wow, dude.
What?
What?
You know who Hasbulla is?
Yeah, of course. We talk about him all the time on our podcast.
Yeah, Hasbulla's the goat.
Yeah, that's what we say.
Well, we were in Vegas and we met him.
Yeah.
And like some lady wanted to take a photo with him. He's like, I can't take a photo with you. It's different. You just can't take a photo with women.
He's Muslim, not Amish.
I know, but I'm saying that we're talking about religion too, right?
Dude, unbelievable. He's.
You don't think I pieced that together a little bit, Jack?
It sounded like you were just saying he doesn't take photos.
No, because he said the photo thing, and I thought, oh, Hasbulla does the same thing. It would have been a good pivot. Who knows?
He's been quiet.
We'll never know now.
An hour and a half, and that's where he decides to get in.
He just got back from Key West. You see his tan?
Yeah.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah, he looks great.
But he's a little tired.
Yeah.
He's a little tired right now. You're actually making him work a little too much.
It must be a similar belief then.
Getting tan?
No, about.
Oh, yeah.
That too. Yeah. Why can't he can't pose for a photo?
Yeah. I don't know anything about.
For a guy that can't pose for the photos, he's pretty active on the internet.
Yeah.
Pretty active on the internet.
So these people, you sold 4,000 tickets to the show.
Yeah.
And they just, like, how did they know if they don't have the internet?
Because they're like, it's a little loose. That's what I'm saying. So everybody, like, you kind of have like a buddy that has like,
and then dial up.
Yeah. And I'm kind of like I would be there, like, I'm not their people, obviously, but I'm one of them. I come in peace.
Right.
Maybe that's a good way to say it. That I have a lot. Yeah. That I have a lot. They know that, like, I'm not going to like swear or I'm not going to say anything that's going to make them uncomfortable, but I'm still going to push the limit in terms of like, stuff that they think is funny.
Knowing that people knowing you're not going to push the limit or curse and stuff like that. Do you ever feel like that pigeonholes you a little bit in your comedy, or do you like that where you stand?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good, clean, healthy fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, we still go after people pretty hard.
Yeah.
But the thing about everybody says everything's very like PC now these days. It must be impossible to be a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
I go, no, dude, it's so easy.
Oh,
because it used to be like back in the like Sam Kinison days. That's an old like a generation before us comic. 3 generations before us. You had to go like before YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
If you said like something about like you like the stool and you were like it was like that was a woman and you were like it was like I can't believe he's doing this.
Right.
And it was like so foul and so like shocking for someone publicly
to fake bang a stool.
Yeah, and they were like, this is wild.
Right.
And then like YouTube came out, and then like all the darkest, weirdest, naughtiest, everybody's heard it.
Yeah.
We've heard it all. So that's not really, there's nothing shocking. Like Liza Lampanelli, remember she came out, she was saying all the like, it was wild. And that comedy's not like, now the line is like so backed up to like comedy, all comedy is just crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
So the line used to be way over here. So you'd have to.
Yeah, big leap.
Now all you have to say like that dude's like probably not a female. And it's like, the line's right here.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just cross it there.
Right.
And that's it.
That's all you got to do.
And then everybody's like, yeah, it's just crossing the line. And the line is brought way back.
Yeah.
So now you just have to be like, I don't know, that kid's got a fake gluten allergy. And it's like,
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't believe you just said that out loud.
Right.
Because you're not, we talk about this at the show. This is the only, at least in my lifetime, where anybody, and we just saw it at Barstool with like anybody in my crowd can tweet something and get fired.
Yeah.
Like you can get fired from your job by saying about either side. If your boss or somebody says, I'm uncomfortable with, so everybody can get fired for saying stuff now.
Right.
So now it's the easiest for comedy.
Yeah.
Like what's his name that got fired from Barstool? Yeah. He's like, we didn't really want, our hands are kind of tied here.
Yeah. Because they're in corporate America now.
Yeah. So everybody is like, they come to the comedy show because like, these are the only guys that no one else can say it.
It was funny. I mean, it's not funny that Mincy got fired, but it like Dave sitting there and be like, he didn't do anything wrong. It's like, he did say the N-word and that's wrong. Yeah. But like saying it by accident.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was tough because I don't know if you've ever met that guy. I've been around him like probably 3-4 times, and dude doesn't seem like he's got a mean bone in his body.
No, yeah,
seems a little like something's wrong, but he's like definitely like he's funny and he's like
funny guy, an engaging guy, and it meant no malice.
Yeah, none.
And that
have you seen the video of him saying it?
Uh-huh.
You could tell there was he immediately went into a deep dark hole.
Oh no,
he's
yeah. Somebody else sports. Was it cricket or something? Baseball. Got fired last week for the same thing.
Oh, for real? Oh, did he?
But he was talking about
Tony Romo during the AFC Championship.
He said it.
He didn't say it, but he
thought it.
It was the Chiefs. It was the Chiefs versus the Bengals, and I think the Chiefs were on offense.
Oh,
they throw it out.
He's
got 3 guys over here. It was like he probably wasn't gonna say it, but the fact that went so viral so fast, everyone's watching, dude. Everyone's watching.
Yeah, the like obsession. It's like peak American culture. It's like to be like, and we were talking about that on my like because we all went we were in Tampa 2 nights ago, and then we had a show, and then we went to Morgan Wallen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, best artist. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I do love Morgan.
But he's a guy too. Like he said it.
Thing. Yeah,
but he said it maliciously. Hard
toward a white person.
Yeah. But it's like, well, first off, brother, there's a whole lot of different words you can say.
Yeah.
Like you call a white guy a cuck. That's funny. And that's
kind
of just move on from the word.
Yeah. But in like,
and then his music with the charts.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Which is wild.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Well, it's only because you're like, don't tell me like you can have your moral judgment, but don't tell me what mine should be.
Right.
And then that's what happened in the Morgan situation. But if you like in terms of like Caleb Elliott, who's a comic that opens for us, black, he's like, you don't understand like the black culture. We don't like know Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Like on our list of like priorities to like for like Morgan Wallen saying the end is not in the top 1,000.
Really?
Like I do a bit about Lady A. I was like, they were like, we're going to stand up against racism. We're going to change our name. Like, no black person knows who Lady Antebellum is.
Yeah.
Maybe Darius Rucker, maybe.
Right.
Like, no, but like.
Knew more when he was Hootie.
Yeah. Imagine like going into like city council and like, we're going to stand up for races. 3 people in skinny jeans and cowboy hats.
Right.
We're going to change it. Like,
3
what are you
hipsters
going to
walking to it. It's like it's its own bit.
Everybody goes, we're going to change our name from Lady Antebellum to Lady A. And somebody goes, what's the A stand for? You're like, oh, well, still Antebellum.
Yeah.
No, it still stands for racism. We just shortened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how disrespectful is that to the African-American community. Is like, you think, like, I always talk about how, like, white people, like, we feel real bad about, like, racism, but we don't know what to do. We're like, I don't know. We'll just make Jake from State Farm black, I guess. Will that solve it? They were like, what?
I know. I feel like white people are just,
the solutions they have for racism are
just
wild.
wild. Yeah. It is a wild thought process.
And like, no, but like, there's like, we feel some level of like guilt. So like, we're like, well, us trying to speak for them is the problem. Like, they were like
still doing it.
Yeah, still doing it.
It's like trying to fix it. Still the problem.
We're gonna cancel Aunt Jemima. Black people are like, that's my aunt. Now she's unemployed. Shoot. Oh man. You're like, white people trying to solve racism by doing white.
Yeah.
Like
just doing whiter shit.
Like the most violent. This is true. The most violent Black Lives Matter protests were in Portland. You know where no black people live?
Portland.
You're
right.
Look it up. Portland is the third, you don't have to look that up, but
look it up, Jack.
Least diverse cities in America.
Really?
Portland is in the top 5.
What were the 4 others? Because I can't imagine let's look it up.
Most white cities or
most white cities.
No,
most white cities.
Hey, don't look. I don't want that on my history, bro.
It's on Jack's history now.
JP's computer, bro.
Oh, it says JP's computer. Tell you what, whatever number 1 is, John will be there in a week. I think actually my demographic's more over here. I'm gonna be there.
I have sold out shows there.
Some rural spot in Pennsylvania.
White population.
Oh, Arizona's in there.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, these are small cities.
Lincoln, Nebraska. Man, if Will could just be here right now, man.
That's
not surprising at all.
Boise. Yeah, Scottsdale, El Paso.
Scottsdale is very white.
Oh, El Paso is Latino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's border country, El Paso.
Look up least diverse cities in America. But the point is like, you're like driving down to these rallies in your Subarus and like soy lattes, and you're like, we speak on behalf of black people. You're like, dude, what? It's wild.
And it's funny, like when all that stuff was going down, being in the locker room and seeing like not all the black guys, but like a lot of the black guys were like, hey, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing?
Some guys, I mean, not everybody. Everyone would share their stories and everything, and it was nice to hear because I've never been pulled over by the police and go, oh man, I've never in my life done that. But I thought like every single black guy had to deal with the situation. There's half dozen dudes that literally told me like they weren't publicly saying, they're like, I've never been worried getting pulled over, and I'm not saying like it's just
it's very like we have another black guy.
You know what we're doing right now?
What?
We're doing it.
We're 2
white guys on a podcast trying to figure out the issues.
Yeah, is there any 6 white guys here? Okay, I got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this episode to bring you yet another ad read, and it's going to be great for you. We've already talked about the true classic tees, but now we're going to work on the top of that dome, and that is sport clips. It can be stressful to describe the kind of haircut you want, and even if you feel like you got it across, it's hard to know if your stylist really understands you. Too often, hair care results in a hair scare. Fortunately, the stylists at Sport Clips Haircuts speak the language of hair. You could say that they are fluent in fades, literate in long locks, and just all around clippers confident. It doesn't matter if your hair is balding or billowing. Is that the right word? Billowing. Sport Clip stylists are black belts in cutting men's hair. They've been specially trained to do it. These pros are artists, and you are the canvas. And each of your hair follicles is the happiest of trees. So sit back and relax. It's MVP haircut experience. I feel like Bob Ross is doing your guys' haircuts during this when they talk about canvases and stuff. That means a 7 pressure point massaging shampoo, a perfectly steamed hot towel, and the freedom to not have stress about a bad haircut. Next time you need a cut, come to Sport Clips and get a head-turning haircut from the pros in men's hair. Next time you need it, the same thing? No. Next time you need a cut, come to Sport Clips and get a head-turning haircut from the pros in men's hair. That was on twice. I just Ron Burgundy that ad read. Jack, you got it. That's on you, brother. I'm not pointing fingers at myself. I'm done. I'm done taking accountability. I'm done taking accountability. I just Ron Burgundy myself in real life. With that being said, boys and girls, enjoy this podcast. But before we enjoy the podcast, do you see the sweat coming off my face right now? Can you see it on the camera? I'm leaking right now, boys. I'm leaking. Maybe it's because I'm down 30 pounds. It doesn't seem as apparent as usual, but I'm grinding out here. You've heard the last 2 ad reads. My God. Hurting. That being said, let's get back to this episode.
There was like the Band-Aid came out with like a darker shade. And it would be traditional on the quote right or whatever. Like, oh, here we go with this. But my Goodwin, it's a comedian of mine, black guy that comes out with me. He goes, that was actually very helpful. Like for my daughter, who's black, is like to have a Band-Aid that it's like our skin color. The Band-Aids are always our skin color. She said subconsciously, it just always taught her that she was other than. They're like a Band-Aid that is her skin. It's like, I go, like I go, oh yeah. Yeah, but it's very, the white people are like, cancel it. Like some of the things have been very helpful. Very helpful.
I mean, that Band-Aid doesn't always fit the skin tone. You get the middle of January.
Yeah.
That Band-Aid is a little tough.
Yeah, Jack's got it.
Jack's got it right now.
He's got
Band-Aid color.
Yeah, he's got a different
He's
Band-Aid
OG Band-Aid. He's OG Band-Aid. But yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't make fun of like all comedy is saying out loud the things people are like,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And if you can verbalize it in a way, they're like, dang, bro, like that's hilarious. That's all. And it's very helpful because everybody, especially during like quarantine, when everybody's kind of like, and that was the most you can't say anything. And that's when like every comic is his shows are sold out now. They're all sold out because everybody's like, they are the only guys saying it.
Right.
So like you go, like they were like, you have to like, everybody can be like in the airport, like you got to be 6 feet apart in the airport. But then when you're sitting right, like a human, it goes,
yeah,
what? But they don't know how to like
verbalize this,
make a joke about it. They go, this seems like what?
Yeah.
But they don't.
They get mad.
Yeah, they get mad. They get mad at it. They don't know how to quite really synthesize that into humor. And humor is very helpful in a way that is like, makes it funny, but like it's also therapeutic. Like I always talk about like my girlfriend, like she thinks I'm a man, so I know stuff.
Right.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
She's like showed me her like dashboard, like in her car or whatever. He's like, the light is on. And I was like, I don't like, it was like a tire. It looked like a tire with like a lightning bolt in it.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't think the tire's getting electricity. Like I didn't know what.
Well, that's right. Answer. Boss goes, it's the tire pressure.
Yeah.
Hey, boss was in the military. He's he's a real man.
Yeah, he's like,
he's a real man.
Is. But it comes from like, I always say like, it comes from like that's a joke.
Yeah.
But it comes from a real insecurity that I like, if there was like a bunch of dudes like, look, your car was like, I was like, yeah, let's look on. I have no idea.
Right.
I don't know how to start a grill. I know nothing.
Right. Domesticated cat.
Yes, dude. But that's a real insecurity of mine made into humor and everybody laughs and it's kind of like, it's helpful.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful. So I'm like, I don't know.
It's a level of therapy for you.
Yes, and a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
100%. There you go. I don't. It's so.
Because who needs to actually go learn the stuff when you can just mask it with humor?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Todd Glass has a bit about, he goes, these kids don't know, like how many of y'all know how to change oil in a car? 1, 2. What are these guys in their 20s? Yeah. 2 out of 5.
Bloss is in his 40s. I can't tell sometimes. Sometimes Bloss is in his mid 20s to me, and then other times I feel like he's in his 50s. I can't tell sometimes.
You don't know.
Depends how much sleep he's gotten before.
But then somebody goes, if you want to be successful in 20, do you want to know how to like recalculate a hard drive or change oil? If you had to pick one of the two, like our parents don't know how to use a sundial, like because that we got stuff to do. So a change into oil.
Sorry, keep going.
No, does the analogy make sense though? Like stuff we don't.
The fact that you don't use a sundial, it just uses itself, right?
Or like a compass, or like whatever, like or like a plow.
Yeah.
Like we don't need that anymore because we got a tractor.
Right.
So like if you had to pick a skill and you knew how to like change a transmission or like learn the TikTok algorithm to be successful, you would say
the TikTok algorithm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Society's developing.
Yeah.
But it's the old joke, these kids don't know how to, these old kids don't know.
Every generation does that. We'll do that in 15, 20 years.
And
these fucking kids don't know how to work.
Don't know how to do nothing.
They don't do nothing.
Because other people work for us. Yeah. Or not. No.
Dude.
Cut it, dude.
No. Keep it on. Everything's staying on, dude.
Keep it in.
Except for those 3 hours we talked about earlier. We'll make sure to take those out. You kind of went on a rant. I can't have that. I can't get my show canceled.
Will set this up. So I'm going to have to text him. Hey, dude. He's like, dude, I wasn't even there. I was like, but we got into some stuff.
Yeah, there's some stuff. We'll have to redo the whole thing. This has been tough. This podcast has gone a bunch of different directions.
Or like he takes like the hard drive and he's walking out with his computer like at night and I like jump him in the comment. Like he's like, what happened to the footage? Like, we don't have it.
We don't know.
We don't have it anymore.
We don't know. I'll tell you what. If you're gonna not jump one of them, it's gonna be Bloss.
Yeah, that's the one.
Bloss just stays fucking right. He's also a cop.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like that's the way to go.
He's the guy.
Well, you want to know if you're out, like if me and my girlfriend are out on Broadway and like something went down, like she's gonna be like, I'm with freaking this guy in the sandals.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like, or like this is the guy that's protected. Like I have no idea.
Primal.
No, yeah,
it's gonna get primal. Fight or flight situations.
It's not gonna go good.
Like,
yeah.
Kevin Hart has a bit about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, about fighting.
About fighting people.
Yeah.
And the girl always like acting up, being like, "Oh, he's gonna do something." Like, "Oh,
no, he's not gonna do anything."
Relax.
Yeah, he's not gonna. Yeah,
you better relax.
I think Nate has a bit about that. Nate Bargatze about how they were out on the lake, and then his wife was like on another boat. She was like, "My ex-boyfriend over there." And he's like, "Thanks for ruining my day." Like, he's like, "What? I don't know the bait." He's like, "You want me to swim over there,
right?
And like somebody help me up onto this boat to fight him? Like, what do you want? Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do,
dude? All right. There's gonna be a way. I'm going back like 30 minutes here, but I kept that question in my head the whole time that I was gonna say.
Oh no.
You said Jerry Seinfeld. You said Jerry Seinfeld paved the way for comedians.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. You said that multiple times in this podcast. How do you pave the way for comedians?
And Brad Paisley paved the way for country.
Yeah.
It's my third Brad Paisley reference.
Yeah. I don't think Brad Paisley paved the way for country.
I don't know. I like all right.
He's got a couple bangers, don't get me wrong. But like alcohol and celebrity, those all kind of came out the same
bangers.
album.
He has 1,000.
He's got 1,000 bangers.
If you went to a Brad Paisley
paving
concert,
the way,
you would know every song. You would know every song.
I don't think so. I don't think I know every single one. Probably I know a lot of them for sure.
Same with Blake Shelton. I went to a Blake Shelton concert and I was like, I knew every song. I knew 30. You
want to talk about I don't know if the comedy world is like this.
I'm gonna miss her.
Whiskey Lullaby.
When I get home.
Music video. I'll make you cry now.
And to put a little mud on tire. Oh, this is just a list. Ticks. I like to check you for ticks.
It's all the same tone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Everything you just said was correct. And they're all the same tone.
They're all number ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all one song, right?
Put it in the formula.
All one song. But the
Seinfeld.
country music world, I don't know if comedians are like this, but it's like they have like a feeling like this guy ruins country music. Like people were on Luke Bryan for a while when he was selling at arenas.
This guy ruined it. Yeah.
This guy's the worst.
This guy's not it.
But then everybody would go to it, kind of like you were saying with that show that I have no idea. I still don't even know the name.
Remember they like kicked like Lil Nas X off the country chart?
Yeah.
They were like, he can't. Like whoever decides, like,
right.
They were like, no. Like
not
Old Town Road or whatever.
Old Town Road was a hitter. Oh, it was remixed 500 times.
It was a hit. If you play that song right now, we'd all start, That's a great
hype
song.
About it.
They go, no, this is not whatever the box is of. They go, no, this is out of it.
That's out.
I
think he came out with a song after that where he was like, lap dancing the devil.
Like, all right, yeah, we can't. I
think country really had to be like, hey, listen,
hey, we
can't do that.
Have some rules here.
Yeah,
we gotta have some.
They're getting loose.
Yeah, getting a little loose.
Just like the Amish community,
a little loose.
They're like that's outside the foundation of what we're
close
talking
it up
about
on
here.
everybody. Yeah. Well, look at. I mean, Hardy has.
It had moves though. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah, Hardy has a lot of like and Jelly Roll.
Yeah,
they're like, like Hardy has a lot of like harder rock songs, but
Jelly Roll's in a very cool transition right now.
Oh yeah,
I'm not a rap guy.
Yeah,
but I've known Jelly Roll for a long time now, and I'm a big fan of him. And some of the songs he's coming out with, his trajectory right now is just insane,
Straight up.
dude.
Straight up.
He is impressive. I went and saw him at Bridgestone.
Nicest guy in the world too.
He's incredible.
I see that guy. I saw him at the Ryman. I think. Yeah, he's the man.
You know, one of my buddies, he was driving down the road the other day, and big truck. He like cut somebody off, and this big truck drove by, and it was Jelly Roll, and he gave him the finger.
Yeah.
So
Jelly Roll gave him the finger.
He's like the Jelly Roll gave him the finger.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah,
nicest guy in the world, though. Yeah, nicest guy in the world.
He's like, I'm just kidding.
I do love
Jelly Roll. Nah.
So Jerry Seinfeld, you said he paves the way for a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, how does somebody pave the way?
So what Jerry Seinfeld did was and again, this is just from where my past in comedy to where it is now, is Jerry Seinfeld was the first guy. Like was very meticulous about writing.
Mm-hmm.
He would just write jokes. He was the first guy to go, like he would do 8-9 shows a night in New York. He would bounce around all the comedy clubs and he would time it up. He'd do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here. Like, and then when he did the Tonight Show the first time, now comedy's different now than it was. When he did the Tonight Show the first time, he had run that exact set over 100 times live.
Yeah.
And did every word. He's like, switch this word here. If you end the word, like he was like, and that guy fell into the lake with his pants off, or like he was like with his or like you switch the joke around so it doesn't end on a preposition, like writing. And he's like very, very technical. Mm-hmm. And the comedy's not like that anymore. But you don't need to ever end a sentence on a preposition.
Right. Jack, look up preposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like in the basement. That's a prep. Yeah. Or like a yeah.
Out above, across, after.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Dude, you don't even need Google, bro. Yeah.
Google. Gotta have Google.
God. Yeah. Where you like you're like, why doesn't this joke work?
Mm.
And you're like, switch it around. Like I was doing a joke about making fun of people that had like people that died of COVID, like in heaven. I was like, oh, you need a Wespowato?
Yeah.
And I was like, but it doesn't work.
I mean, kind of worked. A couple guys back there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But it never, it's a week off. I've done it for like the past 3 weeks. And I was like, it doesn't, it never, like, is it because of the accent? Because I'm trying to do an accent, like I'm talking to a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm roasting somebody. And it's like, and I go, oh, you need a booster? Like,
yeah.
And that it doesn't, and you think it in your head, you're like, this is going to murder. And it doesn't. And you're like, why?
Yeah.
Do I switch it? Do I take it out? Do I go, oh, does he need a respirator? What do you do with the joke? It's like very, very, very technical. And you listen, you recorded every set, listen to it, and you'd write every single word.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of comics like that now. And there's a lot of comics that are literally the opposite of that. But the idea of like, you put one thing on, no one should be putting anything on TikTok before being in comedy for 5 years. Because it's not good. It's not good. And then they're going to be like, what? Like, people don't understand how long.
Do you think people can be that good that quick?
No. See, I think Louis C.K. said you can't be a transcendent comic before 40.
Why is that?
Think about all the greats, because it takes that long to like develop a point of view and like something to actually say.
Yeah.
Because like he said, Chappelle and Richard Pryor were the two that were like they were prolific in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about how long it takes. Think about all the greats. Bill Burr, Louis C.K. Some of the best ones are the ones that are like have a point of view. They're like, now there's a lot of good comics that are coming up, but it takes so long to like.
Right.
At the beginning, it's just jokes. It's just like, like.
Yeah.
And then
you get up there, you have some energy.
Now you have something to say, like a point of view. Yeah, yeah. So
it's you got to be really smart to do comedy, especially the way Louis C.K. does it.
Dude,
it seems like just the way he breaks down life. Like his bit about Narnia and Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Unbelievable.
Hilarious.
Unbelievable.
But to think that.
I mean, I think that a lot about Theo.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
This is so like wild.
Mm-hmm.
And to put it in like the way the person's brain, like if you're going to make fun of something, you have to be up here looking down at it to put it into context of what's humorous about it. Otherwise, like every person would be like, the most common thing somebody would send to me that was not a comic would be like, hey, if you ever watch one of those like commercials for a prescription and like the side effect seems worse.
Yeah.
Then right, that's a very that's everybody can get to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very shallow, like what?
Yeah.
But to think that you are ahead of the writer, you are one step more intelligent than the person that is delivering this, because they go, "Are you watching this? You're gonna like cure the sniffles, but your like leg's gonna fall off."
Yeah.
You go, what? You're like, you have to be more intelligent than the thing.
Yeah.
To look down on it, to make fun. So like one of the best, every observational comedian is like thinking about things on a way different level than internet. Yeah.
Is there like levels of comedy? Like everyone has a different way of doing comedy. Is there like levels to you of like what's like the be all end all and what's like, okay, this is a little easier? Like a guy like Bert Kreischer is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But he is different than you, as he tells stories.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's different genres. There's different ideas. There's guys that are just say outrageous things.
Yeah. Versus a guy that's like, well, Jerry Seinfeld was very observational.
Yeah.
He made no political or social stances on anything.
Which, smart.
Right?
Well,
it depends on who you are, but the voices of like
smart as in being available to every audience.
And everybody, there's something for everybody. Like
right.
Bert is like a party, like kind of everybody's drinking. It's not necessarily social comedy. He would say that though. Not like that's not who he is.
What do you mean by social comedy?
Like you would never make like Andrew Schultz bit on abortion is like, you know what I'm talking? It's like so.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's so. He goes, listen. He goes, what does he say? He's like, women can do whatever they want with their bodies, and like you guys decide. Because when I get to heaven, he's gonna be like, what were you guys doing? That he was like, it was them. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he goes,
right.
like it wasn't me. Like he goes, in essence, he goes, and then Bill Burr has a bit about it, about how he's like, it's like, well, it's not really. He's like, yeah, but if I had a cake and I put it in the oven and I was like, in 30 minutes, it's gonna be a cake, and I took it out of the oven, you're like, it wasn't a cake. Yeah, well, it was gonna be.
Yeah.
And it was like, no one can say that except a comic.
Yeah.
And you're like if we lost, I mean, I'm obviously very passionate about it, but if we lost the comics, like, I don't know where if we lost the ability, like the court jester in the olden days was the guy that was like kind of keeping the king
happy,
honest.
Yeah.
It would be like, hey, you like these taxes are a little bit like, you have to have that guy.
Right.
And everybody has that, if not a professional, so everybody has that in their family.
What a line to be a jester. Like, what a role to have.
They'll kill you.
Yeah, they'll kill you, but they also, if you were a jester long enough,
had immunity.
Yeah.
They had immunity to an extent. Like, you had to, there was the line that you couldn't get to, because jesters eventually, when they were done, they'd be rewarded like land, gold.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. It was a very prestigious job to have. And people.
And that's like, that would be similar to like the late shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that goes on in the day, there is 6 or 7 shows at night, and TikTok and now is like, somebody's going to be keeping you honest here.
Right.
And that's that. Have you ever been in like a TikTok where somebody posted and you think it's going to go one way, and then the comments just crush them?
I appreciate the Jeffree Star. I had a shirt that says Jesus died for our sins.
Yeah.
It had a Zin in front of him.
Yeah.
I thought, this is funny. And Jack said, take a picture. So I took a picture, and it was getting murdered. Getting murdered to the point where like
not funny.
No.
They were like, this is across the line.
Yeah, this is like, hey, you need to find God, brother. Like it was it was bad like that.
But yes, so that's the risk.
I literally thought to myself, like, bro, it's obviously Jesus didn't die for our sins. Sins weren't a thing then. People didn't have these little deals. Like I in my head, I'm like, I guess. But also,
but you are. I
went to church yesterday, but I don't go to church a lot. So I was like, maybe there's something I'm missing.
So you're like, and that's what comedy is. So you have this idea in your head, and now there's 2,000 people, and you walk out on stage. You're like, I think, like you were like, there was no joke you were more confident in than that one.
Yeah, I guess so.
You were like, this will crush.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, no.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yes.
And so that's the thing about comedy is like, dude, these comics get to say whatever they want. I go, no, they don't. They have to say whatever you are already with.
Yeah.
The comics, it's actually the opposite. But then, I mean, there's so many like of those like anonymous, like like TikTok accounts that it's not really anybody, so no one can really cancel them, and it's just, they got like just 9 million likes on something that's just so out of pocket that if anybody ever knew that
this was the person,
you can but it's like but it's like on the inside, like that's kind of what everybody like
some sort of like cartoon or something like that, or like and it's like over the top.
So whatever anybody tries to push on the culture ideologically, and everyone's like, not really. And it's just like that's what comedy does so well. It kind of keeps the whole thing honest. And even a group of like your buddies, guys do it great. That you're like, dude, like if he comes home with like we talked about, if you're gonna like go to like the Taylor Swift concert and like you're like I got the meet and greet, and your buddies are like, dude, like what?
I got the meet and greet
or whatever. Like you're doing something, like your buddies will like, if you have a good group of buddies, they'll like roast you in a way to like kind of keep you in check,
right?
In like a healthy way. Like,
you need that.
You do,
yes,
because you're like, dude, we lost him.
There's so basically what you're telling me is bullying is. We need that.
That's what we should.
There needs to be a level of bullying.
The title of the pod. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, somebody goes, dude, if you're wearing something, you're like, dude, are you wearing cologne? Like, come on. Like, but no one's gonna pull you aside and be like, hey, dude. Like, they just kind of like razz you a little bit, and you go, oh, I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah. About like, I think I got it.
If you get pulled to the side, it's kind of like way more serious. You don't want that.
No. You don't want that's like an intervention. That was an intervention.
That's when.
Yeah.
You have to make some real life decisions.
Guys will do good about like if a guy's like drinking too much, or like the guys will kind of have a way of
on
like
the bottle again a little bit, huh?
What's that?
You're just telling them, hey.
Yeah, just like, hey, you're like, oh, yeah.
Again?
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, dude, it's like a little early.
Yeah.
Like they'll just kind of throw, and then you go, your buddies will kind of be, if you don't have any buddies that are going to be like, all right, dude.
Yeah. And you know you're right when they get mad about it. Like if they get overly upset.
That's the comedy stuff. Yeah. The only reason you're mad about this because it's true.
Yeah. 100%.
Otherwise, it's not true. Like people have said like rumors about me being gay on the internet since day one.
You care to address those rumors?
Which camera should I look at? No, he goes, no. But what I'm saying, it doesn't bother me.
You want to talk about it?
No, I don't. No,
it's all right.
No.
I mean, it's all kind of making sense.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah,
I'm not gay.
That's it. But I don't have any. I wouldn't like. All right, listen. There's no like. All right.
Yeah.
It's not. The only thing ever offensive is truth.
That is true.
Yeah. That
is a nice little line.
If the only thing that's ever offensive to anybody, if it's true, if it's all truth and not humor, then they're probably gonna cancel you. But if it's all humor and not like, let's say like the Big Bang Theory, it's like just jokes. There's not a lot of, you never watched an episode and called your brother like, dude, you have to see this episode. It's just like, but sometimes there's like the best memes are so true that you go, dude, I gotta send this to whoever. Or your group text, you're like, dude, this is so, they would love this. Mm-hmm. That's the best.
You talked about, you said being canceled. You said, and then earlier in the podcast, you said you've been canceled before?
Do you remember all this stuff? Is somebody writing this down?
No, brother.
You just remember this?
I'm just getting real good at this.
Good interview. Yeah, it's a good interview. I got canceled in 2019.
Is it like a rite of passage for being a comedian?
Yeah.
Do you feel good about being canceled?
Now. It was horrific then.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
What year was it?
2019.
Oh, you were early.
That was like right in the heat of it. Yeah.
I thought canceling really started happening in the 20s.
Yeah, it was right in the like
really
what was
cusp.
Everybody remember back in like
the great cancellation of the 20s.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, remember like people were like in Hollywood were like quitting their jobs like proactively.
Yeah.
They were like, dude, one time in college I like hooked up with a guy, I'm out.
Yeah.
Because everybody was so scared. Remember that?
Yes,
everybody was just like voluntarily like, I'm out. It was so scary. It was so scary. That was like after like Cosby, Harvey Weinstein era. Is that
those are two big ones. Those are easily cancelable.
And then what happened was
cancel. That's criminal charges.
Yeah, that's
like different. That's a totally different thing between canceling somebody.
I think
this guy fucked up and said this, and like this dude gave people pills.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Those are like two different lines that we got to figure out.
Like, all right,
there's a pendulum swing there.
Yeah, but then I think when like it happened to Aziz. Remember that?
I remember Aziz getting canceled. I don't remember what he got.
Yeah, because it was like he went on like a date. And then like they were like back at his like apartment and then everybody's like, wait, this isn't that.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we got to have some kind of like, they were like, and then, yeah. But then when I got canceled, everybody was like texting me like, dude, welcome to being successful.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
I go, oh,
the lead singer of Nickelback called you.
Like, he's like, hey, dude, welcome in.
We've been here. We know these waters.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is when's the first time anyone ever said anything like came for you on the internet? It's horrific.
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling.
Now it's fine.
Yeah, I guess.
But
you thing did kind of rattle me.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. But it did kind of like.
I'm a little more of a easily rattled. I'm not a comedian.
Yeah. What about Will?
No, Will is finding a way to not be cancelable.
How?
Like, he did an April Fool's joke, and it was a black baby, and it was fucking hilarious. And you look at it and you're like, God, I hope I have a co-host after this. And it's like nothing happened.
You're like, dude,
I have Jesus on a Zen shirt. And everyone's like, this fucking guy's the problem.
You're like, I go to church.
Yeah. I went. That's a video he posted. What was the name he put on it? Erlene.
I can't believe it's perfect little.
Willa Erlene Compton. He posts that. People are in the mentions being like, congratulations. Oh, shit. I was like, oh my God.
He didn't get canceled.
He didn't get canceled.
They somehow let him go.
I know.
Lamar Jackson retweeted it. People were like, hell
yeah. I think that's when Lamar Jackson and Will became boys. That's fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
The closest I'll get to being canceled is probably after this podcast.
Really?
Yeah. All the ventriloquist things you've done to me during this.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. I'm over here with my mouth not moving, but also Taylor said
he
that.
He didn't say it. That's cut out. That. Like you don't appear on any of like it's just half screen the whole podcast. Like
the clips are just
like
a black photo with the audio behind it.
They interview people on like Cocaine Cowboys. Like your mouth is like different. You're like that's not even him.
It's not even him. What you don't have? We can cut it out. But what did you get canceled for? I probably should have done homework.
Well, I was you can look it up.
Blackface.
But yeah. No.
I don't know, dude. I'm asking.
Well, I was performing in church. I was doing a lot of shows in churches. Mm-hmm. And I was drinking a bunch. And I was like hooking up with girls and stuff. Not hooking up, but just being not a Christian, pretty much.
Oh.
That's
you
really
canceled for that?
You can look it up. Yeah. I can't legally I had a special on the biggest I was set to come out on the biggest platform, and it got canceled. I can't legally say it.
You can't legally say it?
Still to this day.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, damn. It's like, you kind of ask a question, then right after asking that question, I was like, why would I ask this question?
Good. Yeah. Well, that's the thing about it is there's like, I don't know. It's like, it is what it is. It's not, it's same with like I just, Eminem to myself, a mile to myself.
Yeah.
Then they go,
that's the move.
That's what you got to do.
One time I was getting a lot of penalties in football games, and I had like 3 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
We ended up winning, thank God.
Yeah.
But I had a whole bunch of reporters after being like, hey, what's it? And I was like, I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I get lots of penalties. I'm an absolute liability out there. Just started rattling all these things. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
You know,
I left. I was like, thank God I did that.
Yeah. You should know this because you go to church, but you know the story about I'm
gonna say yes regardless.
There was a prostitute and they were gonna like stone her. Mm-hmm. Right? So everybody circled up in the community to stone her, and then it was about to go down, and Jesus was like, "Ye without sin, cast the first stone," and everybody dropped their stones and kind of walked away.
I do know that story.
Anyway, we're going to put a link at the bottom. If you'd like to donate just a couple dollars. Dude, that would have been the time, dude. That would have been the time. They're like, dang, dude, we're eating, bro. Yeah.
Missed it.
No, but they go, ye without sin, cast the first stone. And that's like everybody's favorite Bible verse. Is like, what are we going to, like publicly we like to, because if somebody is here, you are here, we like to bring celebrities down.
To level people out.
Now when you start a podcast, everybody's like, yeah, and then you get a little, okay, I don't like him up there.
Hey,
yeah.
You need to relax, buddy.
Yeah, okay, I don't like this. I wanted you to like not have to like work at Staples anymore, but I don't like the fact that you have a nice car. I don't like this because now it's a reflection on me.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel like, boys, do we have any questions in the back before we wrap this thing up? 2-hour podcast. Did you think it would go this long?
That long or short?
I would say that's probably about right.
Yeah.
If I did it. What's our longest one? Kreischer? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't say a word.
Oh, yeah.
I just sat there and let the man work.
And you had air conditioning probably in that one.
Yeah, I don't know what my back sweat and ass sweat right now is insane.
But I don't know what's under this shirt. I don't know what's under this. I'm not gonna take it off in the middle.
Yeah. I think I got a little.
Yeah. I do. My special is coming out this week.
Yeah.
We're announcing it this week. It's called John Crist Would Like to Release a Statement. Title of it.
Yeah. What's it on?
YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about that is everybody's doing theirs on YouTube.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Everybody is.
Why do you think that is? Taking away the power from Netflix?
Well, you can't. It's easier to share.
Yeah.
And if comics, we all have like if you're a movie star, you don't have a live show revenue stream, so you have to just get the money from the streamer is what it's going to pay you. That's going to pay your bills. We have. It's like putting out music in a lot of ways. The live show is where you generate all your income.
Yeah.
So you just want as many people as can see that as possible. And sometimes if you go to one of those streamers, they say you can cut we'll let you cut 10 minutes worth of clips.
Yeah.
You can't have it. We have it. When you we got offered from one of the smaller streaming platforms for a sizable, and they were like, I go, yeah, I can't. I'm not telling everyone to go get Paramount Plus or not them, but that was a knock on them for no reason.
That was a shot. That was a shot. It's okay.
And I tried to not make a shot. They were like, well, what did we? Paramount Plus taking strays.
Right.
They're like, what? We don't. Or how am I gonna? I want this thing to get out.
Right.
That's all you wanted to do is so people can see it.
Yeah.
And you're like, if it goes over there, you're like, yeah, dude, I love it, but no thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Tubi or something, whatever to see. I'm good.
Was that the
yeah.
same?
Is that no? I'm not mentioning the one it was.
How do you feel from a confidence level about this? Where are your nerves at when you're releasing a special? Like this one coming out, is it like, hey, fuck, I hope people like this?
Oh, no. It's I mean, it's all been workshopped live for. You hope people. Sometimes the algorithm won't get seen.
Yeah.
Not that it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you have a large presence on YouTube and
I'll be all right.
all that. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
You're always gonna be all right. And this is where you use your networking situations to tell your comedian buddies, hey, will you please post this?
You post it. Yeah.
I'll post it.
Well, the thing about it is, thanks, dude, is when
you were asking me
when I was I just get when I
got a couple followers.
Somebody said on TikTok, they were like, hey, because when Louis C.K., he did Madison Square Garden a couple months ago, and some girl on TikTok was like, okay, so apparently Louis C.K. is uncanceled now. Who decided that?
Right.
You know who decided? Comics.
Yeah.
Comics, Joe Rogan and Bert, and he went on. Comics literally uncanceled him.
How did they do that?
Because they put him on everything. All the biggest comedy pods took Louis C.K. and everybody goes, we love him. And comics uncanceled me. Really? I was canceled, and the mainstream media wouldn't have me on anything. And then Theo had me on his pod. Nate Bargatze had me on his pod. Andrew Santino had me on his pod. Ryan Long, all the biggest pods. And then now my stuff was everywhere. And they were like, oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Comedians had the power to, which is awesome.
That is.
It's unbelievable. And now if you go on.
That's America right there.
It really is. Because you go on the Tonight Show. Tonight Show has 1.1 million. If I made a video and it went that small, I would hang myself. Not hang myself. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
That would be horrible. If a video did that amount of views, I'd be like, it's a failure.
1.1 million.
A big one. Well, yeah, and they have millions.
Have we ever had a video go over 1 million, boys?
Yeah, you have. Of course you have.
Checking.
Let's go.
Make sure I get to live another day. I didn't know that was kill yourself territory.
No,
I want to make sure I was below the line.
What's going to put you on in the being talked about in this country? Going on James Corden? I'm just taking shots at everybody now.
Yeah, that's all right.
You're like, I need to get my message out. I'm going to go on Good Morning America. No.
Yeah.
You're going to go on somebody's pod.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan's the biggest platform in America.
So there's, Joe Rogan. And if you can never get on Joe. Have you been on Joe?
I haven't been out. Yeah.
You and Joe boys?
We're not buddies. I don't know him.
You don't know? You never met him, never shook his hand.
I like his podcast.
Yeah. His podcast is great.
Yeah.
Number 1 in 93 different countries.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Isn't that just wild?
I think it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think it's unbelievable.
He's a guy that can just really project guys in stardom immediately. If he says, I like this comedian, that person's, they're sold out.
Yeah. Well, it is, and you guys probably the same. If you say hey, these, or I don't want to do one of somebody that you sponsor.
Wild. Yeah, they're fantastic.
But if you go, hey, like your voice, your pod is big. Ours is like, you can affect other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan, if he says, hey, everybody needs to stop eating at so-and-so because it will affect them.
Yeah.
Heavily.
Like bankrupt.
Heavily. And so we, on a much smaller level, you'd be like, hey, don't, like, you can promote the things you like, the people you like, and the products you like, and not the other stuff. And you have in some kind of clout, not clout in a way, but you have some kind of people listen to what you say. And that's why advertisers come here, because you advertise and people buy it.
Yeah. Very
simple.
Yeah. But that's also a scary thing, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have the best intentions. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things he says, he's always in a growth mindset, which makes me think, okay, this is a guy I'm willing to follow.
Yeah.
Popularity doesn't always equal credibility.
Yeah, true.
And so it's like a lot of times when people have a voice, it's like that can be nerve-wracking.
Not good.
Especially if they're preaching the wrong things.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people should not have a voice.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this episode to bring you the final and quite possibly one of the greatest things I can possibly tell you about in this ad read, and that is Duke Cannon. Warmer weather is here and things are heating up for the boys. But guess what? We're not sweating it on the bus. Figuratively, we're not sweating. Literally, I'm dying right now. Why? Because Duke Cannon has our backs and our pits covered. If you need to upgrade your grooming routine or restock your favorites, Duke Cannon has everything you need, from antiperspirants and deodorants to thick body wash and their big ass brick of soap. Dude, personal endorsement right now is what I need more than ever, and that's always the Cool Dry deodorant. Dude, I put that stuff on and it's starting to get a little warmer outside. Hit myself a little jog once in a while. I get that cooling feeling right in the armpits. What a day, what a feeling, just to get that sensation of an AC unit absolutely billowing through your armpit hairs. It is a great feeling indeed. You can pick up these hardworking products at DukeCannon.com and use code BUSSIN10 for 10% off your order. That's BUSSIN10 for 10% off your order. That's BUSSIN10 for 10%. You got to go down, right? Why is it there again?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I almost did it again.
I know.
I almost just did it again. I got to trust you more.
You
You know why? Because that was your fault the last time, right?
This is new, though. Normally, they don't have the description. We don't have to talk about this on this ad read.
No, we can talk about the ad read. Go ahead. What you got for me?
Usually, they don't have that.
They don't have the description link?
That's what goes in the actual description link on YouTube.
Got you.
Copy and paste.
A little bit of inside ball for you guys in the YouTube link. But like we talked about before, YouTube is doing phenomenally, and we like you to keep pressing that for all your boys and girls, to pay it forward method. But let's make sure we got on Apple, Spotify, Downcast, all of those things. That's all the ad reads. We love you so much. Subscribe, rate 5 stars. I don't know why I'm saying that. Let's just get back to this episode. I love you guys. Going the other way.
I had a joke in my show. I think I said it like, hey, like, you know, when you tweet, if you're about to tweet a swear word, it's like, are you sure you want to say that? You know, they should be like, if you're like, we are living on stolen land. It should be like, are you still on your parents' cell phone? Like, just like pop up.
Ask
like,
you a question.
Yeah, like, we stand with Ukraine. I was like, have you paid taxes? Like, it just should be like, you shouldn't be saying this.
Right.
But like a lot of celebrities are like, we listen to them. And I don't think Joe really has he's more like just very inquisitive. And that's, I mean, he does have a side.
He's got a side, but he also does a great way of playing both sides.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just going to be hard.
Yeah.
Right or left or whatever subject it is.
But he would make fun of the people that are like, Joe Rogan or die. Like, he's like, I don't know what I'm talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The people that do that about y'all, they were like, dude, these guys. You're like, I don't know. We're just trying to like, we think some stuff, but we're not positive.
Isn't it wild when people come up to you and they're like, I fucking love your
Very
sketches.
Very
I love your comedy.
Yeah.
And I love listening to you on your show and your podcast. Because people come up to me sometimes and it's like, why?
You save me,
it's
or
just
like
wild that people listen.
You're like,
that's the most wild thing to me.
A lot of that.
People are like, hey, like, I was going through a hard time, and you and Will, because of like your guys' chemistry or vibe or whatever, helped me.
Yeah.
And I think, man, that's just crazy that
exists.
It's just wild.
Yeah. But we talk about a lot that on our podcast about like, we are just trying to, like, people are like, hey, I got this diagnosis, or I'm going through a divorce, and like the 2 hours on your podcast every week is like respite from some kind of pain or something like that.
Mhm.
But everybody, and a lot of famous people, whether musicians or artists, or like Tiger Woods. I flew out to Southern Hills in Tulsa to watch him last year. He came back and he was healthy enough, and I go, this, odd to say, but this man has brought me, I don't feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, it brought me, not really, but like so much joy.
Yeah.
On Sundays, seeing that guy in the lead was like,
in the iconic outfit,
gosh,
walks
dude.
out,
and you're like, dude, you've just like there's so many bands that, like, when I've been depressed, you're like, that they helped me. And if I saw Tiger Woods, you realize, oh, this is uncomfortable because we're on the other side of it sometimes. And you're like, oh, like, dude, if I tried to verbalize this to Tiger, he was like, dude,
yeah,
too much.
Off-putting.
He's like, dude, I'm just trying to like sink some putts because I don't, what? I'm trying to trying to keep my own life in order, clearly.
Right.
It's like, don't look up to me. Like watching an athlete, watching Steph Curry, or like, dude, it's like the gift. Is it like from God or something? I don't know.
It's a wild thing.
You want to not worship in like a religious way, but like idolize somebody else, but you don't want to be idolized. A man is not made to receive it.
Yeah, like the idea of, yeah, I agree with that. The idea of somebody coming to you and essentially telling you I idolize you is
very uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable, but like if you just took it for what the comment was, it's like, wow, that's amazing that I was able to give you something that I wasn't aware I could give somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you just hope a regular person on a day-to-day basis, like, I want to affect my wife and my kids in a positive way 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes they frustrate me. That's where the one comes in.
Fair.
But like, but for people, like, we were in Colorado, dude, and Will lost his mom, and this guy came up, and Will's been very vocal about it and the struggles of it all. We've had a couple good cries on the show, and he's like, this dude comes up, he goes, I lost my mom around the same time you did yours, and you just helped me. And you can see Will does a good job of accepting compliments, which is a trait that people need to have.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it's also like one of those, like, I just can't believe people listen and like want to be a part of this life because we sit in front of a microphone.
And to help it to some, I mean, that you are like obviously like very, very rich, and that's part of it. But like,
no, I do all right. I do okay.
That's but if you're like on like your deathbed or something like that, you're like, you wanted to, that's why it was so hard. Like when during COVID is nobody was like working, and you're like, I think that if the simplest job, right? You will say you work at McDonald's and you know how to run so a guy comes in, he's been working hard all day. He's hungry. You have the means and the knowledge to make a meal for him and give it. He pays you for it, and that you are helping. You feel like you're contributing to the world, and that's the simplest of all jobs.
Yeah.
But you feel like you're part of helping
society. You're being an active member of society.
Yeah. And when everyone's just alone at home, and you're like, man, we need to go. Like, there are other rewards for it. Obviously, you can feed your family and you can take care of you, and you've had but you're like, well, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I think at the end of it, if you were like wanting the praise, you're cult leader.
Yeah.
You become,
yeah.
If you were like,
which brings us back to the original the beginning of this podcast.
You should worship me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Doesn't make any sense.
If anyone, the highest compliment anyone could say to you, be like, yeah, like Will, be like, that means a lot to it. We work hard.
Yeah.
We work hard, and we spend a lot of thought into who comes on the show and what we say on the show, and what sometimes we're just making stuff up, but we do care. You do care about the listeners. You care about them. You can't
100%.
Obviously, you can't do everything for anybody. You can't go visit everybody's, but you do care.
There's always like a massive struggle with when success happens to you, because it is like a drug, and whether it's sports, comedy, acting, anything, like you feel that sense of like, holy shit, I'm doing something that not a lot of people get to do.
Yeah.
And then as you get older and stuff like that, it's like you start to realize there's so many other avenues and things you can do in this earth. And then you realize, oh, I only have one shot at this.
One shot. Yeah.
And then like, you're like, how can I do everything? But then once you start pulling your bandwidth apart, essentially, you're like, how do you make sure not only doing as much stuff as possible, but you're doing stuff meaningfully?
Yeah.
Like, and that is,
Like
that's a thing that I struggle with all the time. Cause I'm like, I want this podcast to do well. I want all the things. I want all the things.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Everybody does.
But like at the same time, it's like, what's the most important thing? And that's like, what you really have to get down to. And like, that's where you have to do the work.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Jeffree Star.
Yeah.
That's the most.
Sometimes you got to get down and dirty, get on all fours and just bite the pillow, dude.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I guess you. Okay, you don't say bite the pillow.
Whoa, dude! You can't say bite the pillow.
No.
We're both. People think we're both gay.
We're like, you're like, hey, we both have equal investment.
Just a couple of queens hanging out right now, dude.
Now it's like, whoa, that was the line after everything. No, you do you do like.
We don't got to get serious again.
All right, I was gonna take it back there, but
no, you don't have to.
Yeah, no.
That's the best part about a podcast, brother. You can say
you can bounce around.
Bounce around.
You have to. If somebody says, "Hey, dude, you're somebody's crying in the meet and greet," and say, you're like, you want to dismiss it because it's like if you thought that you deserved that, would be a wild place. I mean, what? You got to be out of your mind. You got to be mentally ill to think that like, thank you. What? Or like to be like, yeah.
You're welcome.
You can say you're welcome, I get, but yeah.
No, but to be able to sit there straight face and be like, good, I did that. You know?
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It is a wild thought.
To be like, to be used, I guess, by God or to be people love like watching you play and like listen to you, and you're like, well, I mean, you're like, I'm just trying to keep my own. Like the idea that people are somebody like, hey, we took a week, we all flew here for your show,
right?
You're like,
that's
what?
An event.
What?
Paid money for a flight.
Yeah, but they have watched your material and deemed that to be a decision that they would like to make. So why would you say, nah, it's not worth it? Or, you know what I'm saying? Why take that from them? Like everybody that went to Taylor Swift, you're like,
it's just crazy.
If you interacted with her music and it affected you in some type of way, and you're like, I'm going to spend $5,000 and you're like, that's what, otherwise we talked about on our podcast. Like, otherwise, what are we doing here? Like everybody's depressed. Everybody's suicidal. Everybody goes back and forth on their willingness and desire to live. And if something makes you that happy,
that's worth doing.
I get jealous of sometimes people that are like if you're like, we're obsessed with the Titans and we got an RV and we go to I'm like, dude, I don't care about anything that much.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like obsessed with NASCAR and they just go to like people have followed our tour bus around, like call them stalkers, but like, I go, dude, I wish I cared about anything that much.
Yeah.
Like that's exciting.
Do you think there's a reason why you don't care about anything that much?
Maybe you've like if somebody's stalking somebody, like the worst thing about it is if the stalker was like, oh yeah, then you met them and you go, oh
yeah,
just a part. Like I think he's seen the other side of it.
Right.
If do you care about anything? Who's the person like the concert that they were like, hey, even if they were like, Eric Church is like my favorite, like, and I was like, and then I go, I missed the pre-sale, I'll get it, and then or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I would love to go, but
I've never.
It moves you.
There's never been anything for me in my life.
Games would probably be the most important things that would exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to my kids' play the other day, and it was.
Yeah. You would miss that for the world.
It was terrible. I enjoyed every single minute of it. Those kids were awful actors. Monotone. It was a musical.
Not good at all.
It was terrible.
Guys, not
it was
good
terrible.
At all. Yeah, it's not good at all.
But these kids gave it hell, and I was like just happy to be there.
Good for them.
I don't think there's ever been anything in my life where I've like stayed outside for, camped overnight for,
that you're
waited for a pre-sale to happen.
What about when you were young?
No, I don't think I've ever had that drive.
To like obsess over some.
Yeah, weirdly, I've always.
Else.
When I was a kid, I was like, I want people to do that for me. Like I was always like, I want to do something special enough to where people want to do that and come see me to do something, whether it was ball or whatever. At that point in my life that I'm thinking of right now was baseball.
I said we were at did our show at Tampa on Saturday night, and the Morgan show was in town, and we were talking about the meet and greet. The meet and greets after the show. My tour manager was like, well, we can just like run through the meet and greet like super fast, so then y'all could get over there to the Morgan show. And I always said, I go, I would never forfeit the opportunity to live my own dream, to go watch someone else live theirs. You know?
Your second great line of this podcast.
Hey, dude. I go, well, even like open mics, it was like small, and I was working on my own craft, and like, hey, the Braves are playing. I go, but I could do mine. That's what you're saying a little bit. You're like, I want to, and there's nobody's music I love more than Morgan's. I was like, well, I'm not going to shortchange my fans that have come here, and we'll do our show. And when it is complete, we'll go over there.
Hopefully you can make it over for that.
Yeah. That's what you're saying, is you always wanted to kind of live yours.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I've always had like a dream, but everybody has a dream. And, when they're growing up, whether they want to be a firefighter, astronaut or anything. It's just like, I don't know. That was always super important to me. And I've never had like a massive passion
like that. What if we should,
items?
If we had like a year, we should pick something. What should we do? Just to be like obsessed with? To be a band, a sport, just follow them around. Just follow them around. All our content online is that.
Follow somebody around. What's that?
It could be organization. It could be a.
I have to really.
It could be a hobby. It could be just like I'm gonna be all in on this. I would go NASCAR.
You would for real go NASCAR?
Oh yeah.
And you just follow NASCAR around everywhere.
I would get an RV. I'll go to every. I mean, I don't think I would.
Be a NASCAR groupie.
Oh yeah. All the drivers. Yeah.
It's such a good question, because I don't like concerts. I don't like going to concerts.
It's not music for you. It's what about sports?
I've done sports.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't be. Yeah, like, why is Will used to be in the locker room? Why is he here?
Exactly. If I was like, I'm gonna go hit every
in the stadium, like
everybody go to every NFL stadium to watch a game. I've played in every NFL stadium.
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
I don't know.
You wouldn't choose gambling?
No. Follow the best gamblers in the world around.
Gambling, yeah.
I don't know. I would want to
gamble himself or follow around.
I would want to
himself, like obsess over it, learn every casino game, and just
here's why.
Good one, though.
Here's why. I've had some recent luck in gambling, and I think my ignorance is what's keeping me alive. Like, I refuse to learn anything more about blackjack.
If you go too deep, you might.
You start learning. It's like, this is when you hit. I have a little card. All of a sudden, it's like 16 versus. You got to stay. I think that's when you lose.
Yeah. What happened to Taylor? We haven't heard. He doesn't text much,
and that's a really slippery slope.
Yeah.
I think something like following something I don't even follow at all, like soccer. I don't follow soccer at all, but like to go to Europe and find just one guy who's a stud and just follow them around.
Yeah.
And I think that would be cool to do, because it'd be a world you just learn as you go, and you're just immersed into it.
I like people that are like obsessed with something.
Yeah.
Like the guy came to the meet and greet last night. He goes, dude, I make custom Range Rovers. I only make one at a time, and I'm like 2 a year for people, and I go over and get them from Europe, and we fly them back. And he's upset. All his feed is Range Rovers, old ones, army ones, and he wakes up in the morning and he's just like, I got a reason to be here.
Yeah.
And everybody needs that in some way. It could be your family. It could be, if you're not waking up, or like we had that. I don't mean to bring up Theo again, but we were.
Brought him up a lot.
Yeah. Theo and Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
We were. There was the shooting that was in. I was out there because I had some families. They were friends of mine that went to Covenant, and I dropped those kids off at school all the time, and I was kind of over there. And Theo, say what you want about him, very, very compassionate, and feels very, very heavily. And he's like, dude, where are you? And I was like, I'm out here at this church. And he's like, and he came by, and we were just talking about that girl that, she did. I was like, why would you do something like that? And I go, well, the system hadn't quite worked for her, whether the society hadn't like given her a reason to,
right.
And with her, I don't want to get too deep into that, but you go, why, Theo, why did you wake up this morning and like go to like shower and go work out? Why did you do that? Why did I was like, I don't know. I want to be here. I like doing comedy. I want to be as healthy as I can to be able to do it for as long as I can.
Right.
If the system, you're like, why did you wake up? Like, we had a buddy that is a comedian that is like 50 that just had like a very bad health issue, and he's never really made it in comedy. Very bad health issue. Was in the hospital for a year. Has like $1 million worth of medical debt, and he can't do comedy anymore. And we were like, dude, let's get up and like go for a walk and like get some vegetables. And he goes, why? Like,
yeah.
he's like, so I can be here for 20 more years and.
Yeah, because he lost his dream.
He can't do it anymore. So
right.
so you're selling, well, dude, let's get up. And he goes, why would I do, why?
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
I wonder why people are wired that way.
Right? Why?
It doesn't make, the covenant thing, I literally truly can't wrap my head around. Not just covenant.
Yeah. It happens every day.
It happens every day.
It happens every day. Yeah. But I think to myself, if you're like the system, me and you and everybody in this bus, the system, whatever the government or whatever you call it, or capitalism has worked for us, right? We have, and we found a way to find a romantic partner. Some of us more successful than others, but I'm just joking. Or like, and like everybody in here is like, I mean, Alex works. He was like, hey, if we do this, if we keep going, if we go in the right direction, more average, like we see the way.
Yeah.
Right. And we can go on vacation and better ones with our families. And we can, like, imagine if you were trying to kept being like cast aside by the system. Right. And you have like, you try to, get a date and they're like, you try to like kind of start a business. And everybody's like, you're socially, everybody's like everybody creates, commits acts like that in isolation alone.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're just like, if everybody keeps pushing you aside, like the fantasy, you drive by that like store where they sell weapons and you go,
yeah.
Right. In a very, very unhealthy, like you go, oh, like that person has power.
Yeah.
It's scary.
The idea of like not having a why is really just such a big deal. Because you point everybody back here. Everyone here no one in here is working a cubicle job.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's something that they're all working and getting better at a craft every single day.
But why? Why did you have the idea that you're like, I'm going all the way to the league? Or like, I don't know. I don't know.
could have very easily been a person without direction at all.
So could I.
Yeah.
So could I. And I was
very troubled in youth, and I was in a lot of trouble legally. And then all of a sudden, like I just played football, and my football team, my sophomore year, ended up winning state. And I was like, holy shit.
And it felt
cool.
Awesome.
I want to do this.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation with my buddies that works in inner city in a school. And I was like, I don't understand why there's like graffiti everywhere, graffiti all over the neighborhood. And I was like, why? That doesn't make any sense. That's just, why would anyone do that? And he goes, if you've like reached out for like help or like a voice, and people constantly have been like,
yeah.
And you've never been rewarded, you never felt, then why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you burn the whole thing down? You're like, it's pointless for me to be here. And that's what suicide is.
Yeah.
It's why you go, why do I want to follow the rules? I want to drive on the interstate. I don't want to get a ticket because I want to have a driver's license, because I want to be able to fly. So I can, the rewards of the system it's worked for me. And you've got some validation from doing a thing.
Yeah.
And you go, I would like to keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not on that, if you've, what do you call it? Given up. You're like, well, you should start working out, or you should start taking care of your body. Why?
Yeah.
Well,
what do you think the answer is?
Well, I mean, I'm a Christian, so
yeah,
that was part of my kind of the North Star, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I mean, finding something else, finding something to believe in.
Something. What are we doing here? This got way too serious. Wow. Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, it's serious.
No, but you're right. You're like,
but it's a good question to ask, because like some people don't have Christianity or religion, and maybe that's not their answer for their why. It's like you just got to find something to believe in
for a reason. And if you funny, back to Taylor Swift. If you're obsessed with Taylor Swift, you're like, well, if I take another shift at my job, I can maybe get the better seat, or I can buy a better outfit, or like, right? So you're like, if I work harder, then I can. There's a reward of. But that's what we're saying. If you don't have anything, you never got the validation of winning state. If you never, that's like just a shot of like adrenaline, so heavy.
Yeah.
That you go, I won't do that. That's what happened when I first made someone laugh.
Yeah.
I want to do that for the rest of my life. And I get up and I want to meet with my agents and I want to keep myself together and I want to present well and because I want to do it for as long as possible and to help other people. And if you don't have what's the point? But even outside of suicide is addiction. Mm-hmm. It's like that's what it is.
That's another thing too. Addiction is like I've never been addicted, but I have a very addictive personality. But I've always had the ability to sit there and be like, "Okay,
yeah,
you're doing this too much,
yeah,
or you're doing that too much. You should just take a break." And I do take a break, and then you feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
The suicide thing. I mean, there are people obviously every single day commit suicide, and I've never once had that thought in my head. It's such a hard thing for me to conceptually wrap my mind around.
Somebody, yeah.
That somebody was gonna, do that.
Well, you go with the current. It's basically in essence.
It also shows how lucky I've been in life. Like there's a wild amount of luck that you need.
Yep.
To go along with talent or passion or whatever else, so you're able to achieve it. There's a lot of guys like songwriters, comedians,
that
are tortured souls.
Oh yeah.
And then they found the outlet that way to do that. Football included. Like there's dudes that run away.
Football saves so many people's lives.
Yes.
Sports save so many people's lives.
And you could see it in locker rooms sometimes, college, high school, everything. Like this is like the only thing keeping this guy afloat. And you worry about that guy when he's done. You're like, what's going to happen to him when he's done?
So he lost his and a lot of guys are that.
Yeah.
They lost their reason. What are we doing here? Mm-hmm. Well, the whole thing was working towards winning a ring.
Yeah.
Now we're done with that. Or what are we doing? And then you go, well, what's the point of all of this?
Yeah, like if you achieved your lifelong goal, everything after that is just a disappointment.
And then you go, I'm gonna spend another 40 years on this planet talking about. Remember sounds horrible.
Yeah,
if your best day was behind you,
right.
That's
what. Yeah, that's a huge reason. I'm so grateful for doing this.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because it's like you start this while you're in ball, and if I was where I'm at now in my career of football, and I didn't have this podcast, my mental fortitude would be much less positive. I would be I would not be in a good position.
Same. Yeah,
because it consumes you. It truly is your identity.
Yeah,
and then we'd always say, "Hey, football's what you do. It's not who you are." That's bullshit. Like if you're gonna, if you're going to become what I was able to achieve,
you gotta go all the way in.
You've got to. It literally absorbs you.
Yeah.
To the point where I'll have conversations with Will or my wife, and like I'll talk about conversations 3 years ago, and like they would say things that I would say, I'm like, I can't believe I fucking said that. But it was all in the lens of because I'm a football player, I don't want to be viewed this way or viewed that way and that type of stuff. Now that seems so small to me.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's just finding something. We're not going to be able to answer this question.
Yeah, I don't think. But if anybody go, what's the reason to like? It's a weird thing to say, but somebody told me one time, they go, I had a show in Detroit, and it was like, the guy came to me after the show, and he goes, it was at a church. This is I used to perform at churches. I don't do it anymore, but he goes, we have this girl that was like, she loves your comedy. She's like obsessed with your comedy. And whether this story is embellished from him or not, he goes, she was like suicidal. And she goes, well, John's coming in 2 months or something. He's come, so I want to like stay. I want to stay. I like not anything about me, but like I like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna stay alive for the show.
That is a wild thing.
It's a wild thing to hear. It's a wild thing to hear on this side. But you go, well, back to Taylor Swift. You're like, yeah, but okay, if you don't have anything, anything that you make Range Rovers or you make this table or you're like, dude, I'm upset. If nothing brings you joy, I don't know quite what to say, right?
Yeah, and there's probably a lot of people listening to this right now going, I don't have that. Like, where is that?
Yeah,
and you just
it's something that's I was like having something on the like you going into your doctor, you say you want to be on antidepressants. He's like, well, put a couple fun things on your calendar. Get some sunlight, just have a conversation with your parents, forgive some people, and start exercising. And come back in a month. Before we put you on antidepressants,
right? Let's
try that first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what are you doing? And in the system, if you look at the financial system, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna get it.
Yeah, and also like
I don't know, it's tough.
Have you ever been depressed?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
like the idea of doing anything when you're depressed is one of the hardest things to do.
And if you're not depressed, you can't understand somebody that is depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've had dark days and it's like, yo, I know I have to do X, Y, and Z today, but the thought of even getting out of bed right now is just awful.
Not doing it. Yeah.
But it is, yeah, dude, that's a good little remedy right there. Like put a couple of things in your calendar that you think, okay, this is going to give me something to look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to.
Otherwise.
Sunlight.
Yeah.
Interaction with human beings.
Yeah. Get around it.
There's a I don't know if it's a documentary or like something that Jonah Hill put on with his therapist. I forget what that's called. It's called, I don't know, but the guy has like a pyramid of things. If like you can achieve these 3 things.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a relationship with yourself, relationship with people, and then I think it was relationship with a higher power.
Yeah, something like yeah.
Which is a word that people really like, you know, for you growing up the way you did, it's like, that's so normal. Yeah, God.
Yeah, it's uncommon for a lot.
Yeah, but it's wild how uncommon it is for so many people.
Outside of ourselves.
What invest in it. Invest in an organized religion. What's going on?
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer is like, you don't have to understand everything. I think that's what human beings want to do so much, is understand everything going on in the world.
Yeah.
And that's not possible.
No.
You're not going to be able to obtain that knowledge. Our brains don't function at that capacity.
Yeah, but there is every day you're like, you look at like a flower or something, like there has to.
How'd that get made?
Yeah, or like God is like, something's going on here, you know? Or you look at like another person that you're like these feelings of like love or compassion, or you go, there's got to be a. Yeah, wait, this is beyond our knowledge of.
No, 100%.
Like,
we have the microphones.
Listen to us. Yeah.
Everything we say is true.
Yeah. But I think it's 2 people trying to sort that stuff out, and you go, I mean, if there's got to be something else besides, isn't it Jim Carrey that said, I wish everybody could be rich and famous. Yeah. They could realize it's not
the answer.
That's not the answer.
Yeah.
It does help a lot of it, though.
Yeah, no question.
I'm just kidding.
No question. There's a lot to look forward to. Yeah.
No, don't get me wrong. A lot to look forward to. It's pretty nice.
Who needs sunlight interaction when you got
money,
fame, and wealth?
That's our message, really. That's our message. Yeah.
If you subscribe to this podcast, dude, you can achieve all that with our 10-step program. But yeah, dude. When's your special come out?
May 23rd.
Yeah. May 23rd.
Exclusively on YouTube.
And it's called
John Crist would like to release a statement.
Well, what was your process on figuring out that title?
Well, I had like a couple of them, and then I was like, that one would be the most like, everybody's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What's that one about? You just asked.
Yeah.
That's the reason we did it.
Yeah.
But the way
it was like John Crist, gay? Yeah. And then with a question mark. I'm like, I gotta tune into this to find out what this guy's up to, man.
With a question mark.
Gay? Fuck, dude, you'd answer a lot of people's questions and just come out like halfway through the show and be like, I'm not. And then watch like a bunch of people get out of it and leave the stadium. He's not, damn it.
You can see like, you know, on YouTube, you can see like where the view count and then where
it just drops off. He literally just says the word gay and then it goes straight down.
That's hilarious.
That's the next special, dude.
Boom, you got it.
The next special.
Oh man.
Man, I was like pleasant. I obviously knew this was going to be a great podcast, but I'm really grateful you came on here. It was a lot of fun. Dude. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me on.
It was an amazing time. We'll have to do it again. But for those of you watching, please subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, all those things. Cheat the algorithm, and let's send this thing to the moon.
Oh, baby.
Appreciate you. Big hugs, tiny kisses.